All right, guys. Welcome to Remotely Wasted. This is week 3 of our college football podcast. If you're returning, thank you for joining us again. If this is your first time, welcome. Pour yourself a drink and talk some football with us. You're going to be seeing a lot more. Hell yeah. You're going to be seeing a lot more non-football content on the YouTube channel, at least over the next few weeks. And also expect to see this show in particular on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, those type of things moving forward. Jaden, do you have anything you want to say in the intro? Anything about the channel?
Oh yeah, we're also we're getting a logo and a banner made for the channel. Found a guy on Reddit. He does pretty good work. So we're in the early stages. He's kind of getting some sketches going. We're trying to just get some stuff down, and then once we kind of get what we want, then we're gonna go ahead and pay him, and then we should have it maybe beginning of next month.
Yeah, so expect us to look a lot more professional.
Like
we actually know what we're doing in a few weeks.
As professional as we can get. I'm gonna start wearing a button-up shirt just on the top and like shorts. You can't see that, and a tie.
As professional as we get, as we're fucking drinking through the fucking podcast.
Hell yes.
All right, so we're gonna hop into college football. That's the episode this week. We've been starting off in the top 25, so we're gonna start off there this week. So normally we start from the top. This week we're going to start from the bottom. I want to kick it to Jaden. Florida State is not ranked. What are your thoughts on that? Are you mad?
I'm a little like 50-50 on it. Like, I'm mad because we're not ranked when we should be. And, there's like a whole bunch of fucking bums. Like there's teams all the way up to 13 with a 1 loss. And we're 3-0. So like, yeah, I mean, we haven't played the best schedule, but we fucking beat LSU at a neutral site, which is basically almost a home game for LSU. And then we beat Louisville on the road. So I'm like,
with your backup quarterback.
With the backup quarterback. So like that part of me is a little upset, but then I'm also kind of cool with it because it's, it's making us underdogs. I feel like we're just going to come in and play better. No, like the players knowing that they're being disrespected by fucking ESPN and their shitty ass rankings. So, like I said, I'm just kind of 50-50 on it. So,
is there anybody from 25 to 15 that you think shouldn't be there above Florida State?
Probably Pitt, A&M, losing to App State. I mean, them beating Miami, like. I could see that being above us and we haven't played any ranked teams yet. Texas, I don't think they should be there. I mean, what the fuck have they done?
They lost the game and got moved up.
They lost the game and got ranked last week, and then they fucking barely won. Oh no, they didn't barely win. They won decently well last week, but I mean, they don't have their. If the whole knock on us is, we don't have our starting quarterback, that's why you're not ranked. They don't fucking have their starting quarterback either, who is a Heisman. Top 10 Heisman candidate when he's healthy. So that if that's the reason why Texas is ranked or not, then it's the same fucking thing. BYU, I don't think they should be ranked. I mean, they
kind of got washed by Oregon.
They got handled.
I thought they were gonna win. Like going into that game, I thought 100%. BYU I had them way ahead of Oregon.
100%. I thought it was gonna be the other way around. I think it was a BYU handling Oregon, but
I'm kind of disappointed a little bit. I was hoping BYU could kind of be the dark horse team this year. It's not. Like I guess it's not going to happen.
Kind of the non-Power 5. They're not in a fucking Power 5 conference yet, are they? What conference?
They're going to be in the Big 12. They're trying to get it done as early as next year, but it could be 2024. I think is the official. But everybody's trying to OU and Texas are trying to move in to the SEC next year, and they're trying to do the same thing with the 4 teams joining the Big 12. What do you think about? Go ahead.
I think they'll move as soon as Texas and OU move out. I think it'll be the same time.
They're trying to work out TV deals. I think that's what it all boils down to.
Yeah.
So Big 12's in negotiations with ESPN. If they could do that, get the other 4 teams moved in, there's no reason for Oklahoma and Texas to be in there. No. Kind of fucking everything up while they're trying to do their own new thing.
They're just fucking bottlenecking it.
So what did you think of Washington? That was a pretty good performance, and that's a team we're probably not going to talk a whole lot about. That was pretty crazy.
I didn't necessarily see that coming. I mean, I think Michigan State was 11 going into that game, and they played in Washington. Washington's, they're not. It's not the easiest place to play, and they got pretty dedicated fans. And Washington's QB was just going off. I kind of caught the highlights of it. I didn't actually get to watch that game, but I'm kind of cool with where they're at. I mean, I would potentially even maybe bump them up a few spots. Maybe I don't know. No, probably not. Looking at those kind of teams ahead of them, I don't know. Maybe over Baylor, but I'm cool with where they're at. I was 100% surprised by it. I did not see it coming.
They're definitely were not on my radar before. Now no. I'm like, USC might have a little bit of competition from Washington. They looked like a legit threat in that game, at least. Maybe Michigan State isn't as good as we thought, and that could be the issue.
Possible.
But from that game, I don't know.
It might be a little 4-team race in the Pac-12.
Yeah, well, we got Oregon,
Utah, USC, and Washington.
Yeah,
I'm still sold on Utah. I'm rooting for them.
I had something about them in our notes, so we'll come back to Utah. I kind of don't know at the moment because I'm not writing that part of my notes. Anything else from the 25 spot to the 15 spot that stands out to you before we move on to 15 to 7?
Kind of surprised Wake Forest dropped. I mean, I know they did play Liberty, but Liberty was a really good team last year, and I know they lost Malik Willis, so Liberty's not as good as they were. And I think they did have a couple other people end up going in the draft, but Liberty is not a bad football team. They've been pretty good in these last couple of years, giving a lot of good teams the business when they do play them. So I don't know if I would drop them below Florida. Florida almost lost to USF.
Florida, actually, that's a good thing you just brought up. I think Florida might be trash this year from the looks of it. That first game might have been a fluke.
I think 100% was. I mean, fucking, I'll just say, never mind. I'll wait. Yeah, nothing 25 to 15, nothing crazy. I mean, Michigan State's getting votes. I mean, they did just get fucking blown out. And they didn't get blown out. They should have
got more votes than Florida State, because I think this is how I would have had it. I would have had Florida State. I would have had them in the top 25, but if I was just going off of who got the most votes outside of the top 25, I would have Florida State, Appalachian State, and then probably Michigan State. That's how I would have it.
I'd have North Carolina over Michigan State. They're sitting there with 72 votes. They're undefeated. Yeah, fucking got Kansas on there.
Kansas, we're gonna get into Kansas. They're a legit threat.
I don't know. I seen something about LSU. For some reason, I don't know. I think I seen something on Facebook about them like being ranked like fucking 12 or some shit. And like I pulled up the rankings and I was like, where the fuck are they at? I was like, there's no way. I was like, we were just getting disrespect. It might have been a dream I had last night. They were 12 after we beat them and we were unranked. And I was like, are you fucking joking me? But yeah, it must have been a little fever dream I had.
Did I tell you about the dream I had before the Texas-Alabama game? Right, I had Texas, like in my dream, like Texas blew out Alabama, and like I wasn't even happy about it because I was like, we gotta play Texas. Like I'm worried now. Like I was actually mad.
Texas built different. Yeah, I don't know. It had to have been a dream.
All right, so going from there, we got 15 through 7, and then we'll get into our, first 4 in, first 2 out. Let's see. We got the one thing that stands out to me the most from these particular rankings.
State.
Penn State, yeah, that's where I was going with that. Penn State looked good, like really good.
Yeah, but I mean, jumping 8 spots. I mean, like, yeah, it's Auburn, but Auburn is not good this year. That they weren't ranked. Like,
it's a Power 5 team,
and Oregon beat a top 12 team. Like, yeah, they did move up 10 spots, but still, I would probably switch the 2 of them. I mean, I wouldn't have them above like Utah, NC State, like the rest of those that tier. But yeah, Penn State just fucking came out of nowhere because they looked pretty bad their first game. They played, was it Vanderbilt? Was it Purdue?
Yeah, I think it was Vanderbilt. I might be wrong though.
It's they have the fucking same colors, and I always get them mixed up. No, it was Purdue because fucking Drew Brees was there. Yeah, they did not look good against Purdue. Sean Clifford was straight ass. They barely got out of that game. I was actually rooting for them to lose. And then I don't know who they played last week. Do you know who they played last week? I don't think it was
somebody.
a big team.
Oh, like are you talking about the week before Auburn?
Yeah,
I don't know that.
They played Ohio, so like yeah, they beat Purdue by 4. They blew out Ohio, and then they just blew out Auburn in Auburn, which is pretty wild actually. But like, I don't know, they're just fucking jumping up 8 spots for beating an Auburn team. Like that's the SEC bias. You know, you beat an SEC team if you're not fucking Florida State, and you jump 8 spots.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I kind of got the SEC bias now that we're going to the SEC. I'm turning to the dark side.
Everybody hates us and the ACC.
No, I really think Florida State's getting disrespected like pretty hard, and I think they've been getting disrespected for a long time.
I remember think we've deserved it the last 7-8 years.
Well, even before then, like I don't know if you remember that one year, it might have been like 2012 or something. You guys were undefeated, and like it was still BCS era, but you guys were like ranked 9.
Yeah, that like, they always be just disrespecting us.
Like I'm pretty sure you guys wouldn't have gotten into the championship in 2013 if like Bama had won, like against Auburn during that missed field goal. Like they've been disrespecting you guys. There was even conversations about you guys not getting the playoffs being undefeated in like the 2014-2015 season. But
it's disgusting.
And we'll get more into this because for favorite team talk, I actually got a bunch of Florida State shit because I'm going to be talking about OU way before favorite team talk. So I'll have already drained everything out before we get there. So going closer to the top, we got Kentucky, I believe, jumped Oklahoma State. They're in a tie, essentially, Kentucky and Oklahoma State.
Yeah, they just switched spots.
Who do you think's better?
Oklahoma State.
Yeah, boy. Oh, you got the OSU shit on today. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Oklahoma State, their offense is just fucking. It's really fast. It's really good. Spencer Sanders is really good. Hopefully he's much more improved than last year. I haven't really got to catch a lot of their games. I mean, yeah, that first game, you know, they'll let them. I think it was Central Michigan or Eastern Michigan come back on them.
Central Michigan, they didn't look good that first week. Arizona State, they looked good.
Yeah, but since then they've just been dominant.
They looked good the last 2 games.
Their defense is kind of squaring away. I think Kentucky probably might have the better defense. Will Levis is actually pretty good. I think he'll probably go maybe in the first round this year, maybe. Yeah,
did you see Gundy's son in that?
No, would he come in like late?
Late, yeah. He's a quarterback. He threw 2 touchdowns, I guess, in garbage time, which I'm like, maybe he's the quarterback of the future there. Like after Spencer leaves,
that's gonna be wild. But yes, I think if they had to play today, I think Oklahoma State would beat him. Like neutral site, you know, in between Oklahoma and Kentucky. What would that be like? Fucking, I don't know,
Missouri, yeah.
Like if they were playing in fucking Missouri today, like right now, with a week of preparation. I think Oklahoma State takes it.
All right. Tennessee moving up to 11. Do you think that's a good spot for them?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
There's a lot of SEC up here right now.
Yeah.
NC State's up there, though. They moved up a little bit.
I don't think
we're going to get into the Florida State thing. I'm trying to hold off on the Florida State thing because there's so much shit to talk about.
I don't think NC State's
the future schedule.
I don't think NC State's as good as they are projected. They have a good QB. Like they have good weapons. Their defense is supposed to be fucking like top couple of teams in the country, but they have not looked that good. Oh Jesus Christ, that carbonation. Yeah, like that first game, like they almost lost to fucking East Carolina. Like I think they won because they missed their field goal. I mean, this week they won by a decent margin, but I mean, as well as they're supposed to be doing, they should have won way more. Who the fuck did they play? Texas Tech.
Texas Tech, you never know with them. They're always offensively very good.
None of them fucking random ass trap teams that just get you when you ain't fucking ready for it. So I don't know. I was expecting them to come in and put them down pretty handily, but Devin Leary did not look. He didn't have a great stats. I think he threw for like 124, 160, something like that. No touchdowns. I think they just really ran the ball, and their defense kind of stepped up for him. But I don't know.
All right. Anything else from 15 to 7 that you want to touch on before we hop into our top 6?
I think it's really 15-8 because that 7-1 is probably going to sit there for the majority of the season. I don't think that 7-1 spots. Until one of those teams lose, but Bama and Georgia are going to knock one of each other out. Ohio State, Michigan, and then OU and OSU sitting at 9 eventually.
I have the top 10. I don't think they're going to move for a while. Maybe Arkansas is a little bit questionable.
Unless they get randomly upset or someone is just right there on the bubble. Maybe Arkansas just starts blowing out the rest of the SEC. Then they would probably jump up in there. But I don't know, that top fucking 10, yeah, for sure is just rock solid from the looks of how they've all been playing. Arkansas didn't look that great, so maybe 1 to 9.
Yeah, that's what I'm Arkansas is on the fence. They really struggled until the end, where they kind of I think they won by 2 scores, which is pretty good considering you trailed most of the game.
1 to 9. That's where the national champions coming from. One of those teams. It's gonna be Georgia more than likely, but I think any of those teams right there have a really decent shot at it.
That's true. It is college football though, so you never know. You never know. So we'll hop into our top 6. Before we do that, I am gonna grab a beer real quick. I got a trivia question for Jaden. While I'm doing that, it'll be 10 seconds. Super Bowl MVP of Super Bowl 1.
Super Bowl 1 was it Chiefs Packers?
Yeah.
Was it the Packers QB?
Bart Starr, yep. Packers QB Bart Starr.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, but I couldn't remember his name off the top of my head. I was thinking B, but I was yeah.
I think he won the first 2. I think Packers won the first 2 Super Bowls.
Fuck the Packers.
I think I could name all the Super Bowls in order. I'm not going to do that today. Future podcast, I will.
You could also do all the presidents and what other kind of dumb shit can you do?
I think that's it. Maybe all
rap song. A couple rap songs you know all the fucking lyrics to.
Probably all of them. As many as there are. All the Kanye ones. Let's see. So now we're hopping into our top 6, which we're also going to touch on the top 10. I think we kind of hinted at that because it's such a close race. So Jaden, I'll let you start with your first 4 in, your first 2 out.
Mine really hasn't changed. I don't think it even changed from last week. I got Georgia 1, Ohio State 2, 3 is OU, 4 Bama. And the first 2 out, Michigan, Clemson. So Ohio State and Michigan, like I said, one of them's gonna fucking knock each other out. So they probably just switch spots. Same with Bama, Georgia, and the SEC championship game, which I'm assuming they both make. So yeah, they would just more than likely. I think if Georgia lost, they would just switch with Bama at 4, which is where I have them. I mean, they're sitting at 2 right now, but I don't think they'll drop from 2. And then yeah, Michigan looks pretty solid. I got them right there at 5 and Clemson at 6, but I don't think Clemson loses until I think they will lose. They got Wake Forest this week. That's gonna be a tough game for them. I think they'll win. Their defense is pretty good. Their offense just doesn't look in anything crazy. I mean, they've played 3 fucking pretty trash teams, but it's the whole first half that it's just like 3-3 or something like that, 7-3, and then the second half comes out and they finally get it going. So
yeah,
honestly, a little hot take. I think we got Jordan Travis. I think we beat him. A healthy Jordan Travis.
I do think Clemson's defense is hurting a little bit without Brent Venables being there to call that defense. They don't look. I mean, they look good. Don't get me wrong, but they don't look like the same defense.
No, and then other than us, I mean, the Louisville. That's it. Maybe.
Who did you have it for?
Bama.
Okay.
So yeah, I think we'll fucking get them. So that's why I think they'll slide out. And it'll probably be USC sliding up in there.
USC.
Whoever wins the Pac-12, if they're undefeated, they're in there.
Oh, absolutely. And USC's look good. I hate to give them credit, but they have looked very good. So going into my top 4, pretty similar to you. A few differences. I'm a little out there sometimes.
You took Florida finally out there?
Oh yeah, crack. I took Florida. I took Florida out last week. I put Kentucky in for Florida, which
I mean that's a little better, but
I got Georgia number 1. I mean, there's not much to say about that. They dominated.
That's an NFL
on all sides.
That's a 33rd NFL team.
Pretty much. Michigan, I got at 2 actually, 59-0. They're another team that's looking crazy on every part of the ball. Special teams, defense, offense, they're looking nuts.
I agree, but I mean, they just haven't played anybody good yet. I mean, they've only given up fucking 17 points and scored all above 50 all 3 games. But I mean, you got Colorado State, Hawaii, and UConn. I honestly, the majority of the fucking Power 5 should be putting up, similar scores. But
UConn, they do have a former NFL coach.
That's a fucking basketball school.
They got Jim Mora Jr.
Jesus Christ.
Do you know Jim Mora Sr.?
Was he the coach of UCLA?
That guy. Yeah, that's his son. Yeah, he coached UCLA, he coached the Seahawks. Yeah, his son coached both those teams. That's Connecticut. 3.
Yeah, Michigan.
Go ahead.
Michigan's fucking. They're solid, but I'm curious to see when they play a good team, which is probably going to be Penn State. This is their first good team. So
see, I see your argument on that. My thing is Michigan has done exactly what they're supposed to do against the level of competition they're playing, and
100%.
They don't look like a team that has many flaws. 3, I got Ohio State. They put up 77 points. It's hard to argue against them. It was hard to make them not my number 2, but I'm like, Michigan, when I was looking through the highlights and everything, Michigan just looked a little bit better all around. Ohio State looks like they might have just some minor flaws in their defense. Offense, nobody's touching them. I maybe USC. Those USC and Ohio State got the best 2 offenses.
I think Michigan beats Ohio State this year.
I think so too. They beat them last year, and I think it's kind of like the momentum.
A little momentum. I think their QB switch is the best thing they could have done with JJ McCarthy. He looks fucking solid. He's like borderline pushing the Heisman conversation. But yeah, continue.
4, I finally did it. I couldn't help it. I got OU at number 4. They whooped Nebraska. Nebraska wouldn't even have scored a second touchdown had we not taken all of our first stringers out early in the 3rd quarter. They looked dominant on all parts of the ball.
They scored in the last minute of the game, didn't they?
Yeah, they scored towards the end. They scored the first I was nervous at first. They scored a touchdown early. Yeah. Then we struggled a little bit, and then Dylan Gabriel took off for 61 yards, rushed a touchdown in. From there on, our defense dominated. We got multiple sacks. I didn't count how many. I think it was 5 or 6. We looked pretty crazy. We got a strip fumble and also an interception. We're getting a lot of good experience for our backups, which I think is a really good thing. We could have taken the route of leaving our starters in to get the style points, whoop on them a little bit more, but Venables is a smart dude. He's like, fuck it, we're going to put in our backups, get them experience. Just in case somebody gets hurt, they're ready to go. I refrained from doing it because I didn't want to be biased, but this is the best OU has looked, I think, since early Bob Stoops era.
Probably since they had Sam Bradford and
around that time.
The defense just looks like they look good.
It looks like a real really defense. It's not just
it's not a Big 12 defense.
They're doing okay for OU. No, they're looking like a legit defense in any league.
100%. I think this is probably the best thing that could have happened to them with the transition going into the SEC. They would not have been able to compete with that defense. It would have been a shootout every game against almost every team, more than likely. And
that's the thing with OU. Lincoln Riley is probably the best offensive mind, maybe not even just in college football, maybe in football, period. But we got Jeff Lebby as our offensive coordinator. He's been really good. He knows how to coach against SEC defenses. He's probably top 10 offensive coordinator, if not top 5. And him and Dylan Gabriel have worked with each other in the past at UCF. They're looking pretty solid at 5. I got Kentucky. I had them at 4. They played Youngstown State, I think. No knock on Youngstown State. They're not at the same level. So I had to move Kentucky down. And then at 6, I had Bama. I do expect Bama to jump back up into my top 4 at some point this season, but they have not shown me enough up to this point.
I mean, I don't think there's 6. I mean, they did put 63 on Monroe. I mean, other than Texas, I mean, they've done what they've needed to do. I mean, they got Vanderbilt.
I still got them in the top 6.
I'm curious when they play Arkansas. Arkansas has got a mobile QB. Mobile QBs plague Alabama time in and time out, and they're in Arkansas. So I mean, that's an upset alert. So I think we'll get our real good look as long as they don't fucking hurt the quarterback. I think we'll get a true look at how Alabama looks this year because they should have lost. They would have lost to Texas.
There's still a mystery to me. Like
exactly, we just don't know. I mean, they played Utah State and UL Monroe, other than Texas. So it's like I don't know. Like it's a Nick Saban team. They have NFL caliber talent, but I don't think their offense is as good as they have been. Like, yeah, they got Bryce Young.
Their wide receiver core is not looking that great.
No, they're so really inexperienced. I feel like they're dropping a lot of balls. I don't know. Maybe this fucking tune-up game where they've blown this team out was kind of what they needed to get in sync and get their receivers some motivation and morale going into, like a decent little stretch of their schedule. I mean, Vanderbilt's not a terrible team, but then it's like Vanderbilt, Arkansas, A&M, Tennessee, Mississippi State, LSU, Ole Miss. Like, holy shit. Like, that's a fucking gauntlet. We'll see if they come out unscathed. If they do, they're definitely the number 2, maybe number 1 team.
Even if they're 1 loss, they're probably still getting in the playoffs. Like, if we're keeping it real. So what's your biggest takeaway of the week? Moving on from our top 25 stuff.
It's not even necessarily just this week. I mean, this could have been, week 2, Kansas. Like the Kansas, they're 3-0.
They could be ranked next week. Like it's a strong possibility.
I think last year they won 1 game.
Yeah, I think they maybe upset Texas in 1-2. I can't remember if that was last year.
They did upset Texas. I can't remember which one it is, but they did upset Texas. But yeah, they beat West Virginia on the road and Houston on the road. Houston was ranked last week, and West Virginia almost beat Pitt. They got Duke this week, also undefeated 3-0. It's like all the fucking like powerhouse college basketball teams are fucking undefeated.
Hey, and if they beat Duke, like Duke's not the best football team. But best football team, but they are Power 5 at the end of the day. They're still getting good recruits in the ACC.
Yeah. Hey, Kansas is first in the Big 12 according to ESPN. So
I mean, they have not scored under 40 points. Their offense looks scary. Their defense looks not that good, but their offense, if they could keep it up, it doesn't matter. Like get a couple stops, you win the game if you're scoring that many points.
Yeah, I mean their QB's got solid stats. I mean 7 touchdowns through 3 games. 566 yards. That's solid if you ask me. I don't know. I can't believe Texas is 3-0 against West Virginia and Houston on the road. It's just
it doesn't feel right.
It doesn't. Something the season's off. It's got a weird feeling to it. I feel like that, and it's every weekend. It's just been fucking upsets. I
think this is gonna be one of those crazy ass seasons. Like I remember. This was like one of my first few seasons watching college football. It was 2007. Kansas at one point was number 1 in the country. Like Illinois was like a top 10 team. It was pretty wild. And this season kind of has that feel where I don't know what the fuck's going to happen on any game. Like you can't trust the top teams. Like we look great. We were losing against Kent State. Notre Dame, we got them losing to Marshall.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of wild. My biggest takeaway isn't quite as specific. It's just I think this is the most dominant amount of teams I've seen in a long time. in the top 10, we got Georgia blowing people out, Bama blowing people out, Ohio State, Michigan, Clemson, OU, USC, Kentucky, OSU, Arkansas. Like, those teams are looking pretty fucking crazy. I had trouble making my top, like, 6. Like, I could have interchanged any of these, quite honestly.
Yeah. Other than one, I feel like
Georgia is kind of like the one, but
100%. But yeah, I agree. It is a little dominance. I can't remember. I don't know. It's just like when I'm thinking about dominance from the last couple of seasons, it's like it's the top 4 and that's it. Like it's been Georgia, Bama, Clemson, Ohio State. That's it.
Now there's a bigger field,
for the last 4 years, I think.
Pretty much,
roughly, maybe 5. So
I'd say post that first playoffs, it's pretty much been those teams. You can interchange a few, like OU's been up in the playoffs 2 or 3 times. LSU's been up there.
A random team will fucking pop in. Michigan's popped in once.
Cincinnati last year.
Notre Dame, Cincinnati, OU's popped in.
Washington, I think, made it 1 year.
Yeah, I think it was the 2nd or 3rd year after this college football playoff started, like 2016, I think.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, and then it's just weird. It's got a weird vibe to the season. I don't know. I don't trust.
That's how I like it, though. That's how I like it.
It's terrifying.
Player of the week. Who got that player of the week?
Oh, player of the week. Where the fuck did I put that? Oh, CJ Stroud and Bijan Robinson split. CJ Stroud went fucking nuts. Let me pull up his stats of this game. Like the man went crazy. Yeah, 5 touchdowns, 367 yards, 99.4 QB rating, no sacks, and he only missed 5 passes. So that's pretty damn good. Off the top of my head, I think Bijan ran for like 162 and 2 touchdowns. But like the interesting thing to me, it was like 84-yard score, 40-yard score. So his 2 touchdowns were from pretty far. Maybe it was 3 touchdowns. But yeah, he had a really good game. So I wanted to at least mention him, but I think CJ Stroud was
pretty fucking dominant. He's nuts. I could see him easily being the #1 overall pick going into the draft.
His fucking receivers are just
that's another
unfair.
Thing. Like he has like an NFL level receiving core. It might be the best. I might be exaggerating, but I think it's the best receiving core I've ever seen in college football. I can't think of a better receiving core as far as like his whole receiving core is going to get drafted.
Let me pull up the receiving core statistics real fast for fucking Ohio State.
Yeah.
Ugh. Fucking gross. All right. We got Harrison, 342 yards, 5 TDs. Egbuka, I don't even know how the fuck you say that. 324 yards, 3 TDs. Stover, who's a tight end, 137 yards. Ballard, 127 yards. So, like, I mean, they only got 9 touchdowns out of the 4 of them, but like that's a lot of fucking yards. It's like almost 800 yards or so. It's pretty fucking good.
We're going into the 4th week, but their level of competition is going to increase. So I am curious to see, but I still don't think they're going to have much of a tough time, even against the higher level.
No,
maybe Michigan, maybe when they get to the playoffs, but your average Big Ten opponent, I don't think it's going to give them that much trouble.
And that Notre Dame game is just sitting there with me, and like the back of my head was it was the first game of the year, so maybe that was it. But it's just like, I don't know.
Do you remember where that game was? Because I don't. Was it in Notre Dame or was it at Ohio State?
I think it was a neutral site. Let me. Where was it? It was in Columbus. It was in Ohio.
That goes more to your point. You would think they would have played better being at home.
But I'm like, is Notre Dame's defense that good? But then I'm looking at who the fuck they're getting beat down by, and I'm like, I don't think so. And then I'm like, is Ohio State's offense not that good? And then I'm like, looking at what the fuck they're putting up on the scoreboard, and I'm like, I don't think so. So I don't like, is it a fucking fluke, or is it just, first game jitters against a big fucking team? So I don't know. It's just kind of sitting there in the back of my head. It's kind of with the Bama. Like, I don't know if I'm like sold on them, but it's kind of hard not to be. I don't know.
I see what you mean. Like they almost look perfect, but then you look back on that game, and it would look better if Notre Dame had gone on to just play great, but they really haven't.
Or 2-1. They lost to Ohio State.
So it gives you a little bit of a question mark there. My player of the week is Michael Penix Jr., quarterback, Washington. 397 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions against a ranked 11 Michigan State. I actually went through and watched his highlights. He wasn't making a lot of bad decisions. He looked pretty accurate.
Dropping dimes and throwing bombs.
I didn't even really know about him going into this game. He's definitely on my radar. I think he has like the 10th best QBR in the nation. He's like top 10 in touchdowns or top 20 or some shit like that. I don't think he's thrown an interception this whole year. I might be wrong. He might have thrown 1. I think he threw 1, actually. That's pretty good. He's on my radar now. Washington's on my radar.
He's number 2 on the yards leaderboard with 1,079.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this dude is nuts.
Yeah, who the fuck has Washington been playing? I don't even know. Check their schedule fast. Kent State, they have 45-20. Portland State, 52-6, and then they squeezed out 11 points over Michigan State. But I mean, that's a lot of fucking yards in 3 games. Like, that's like half of what some people get in a whole season. Like, there's some college QBs that throw for like 2,000 some odd yards in a season.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe he's like a fluke, but I don't think he is like being this consistent the first 3 weeks. Going in from there, most disappointing performance by a player. Who do you have for that one?
So Spencer Petras is finally off the hook for this session. I got my fucking eye on him. If he makes one bad mistake, he's back in here. But I had Anthony Robinson. Or Richardson, sorry, not Robinson. I'm retarded. He did not have a good game at all. Like 10 for 18, 112 yards. Like, yeah, his completion's not that bad. No touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 11.6 QBR. And then last week he had a 3.9 QBR. So like that Utah game, I think was definitely a fluke for Florida. And they have just fucking. He's got more. I seen a stat. He's got more tackles this year than touchdown passes.
Yikes.
He's not throwing a touchdown pass in all 3 games. It's all rushing touchdowns that he's got. What the fuck's his? Yeah, he's got 3 rushing touchdowns against Utah and then no other touchdowns against Kentucky or USF. So, and the yards wise, it was 4 yards against Kentucky and 24 against UCF compared to 106 in Utah. So like, he's, I don't know what the fuck they got going on in Florida, but he's not looking good. So he deserves this spot. He's got a 35.9 QBR on the season, and I'm happy for it because I fucking hate Florida. So I might keep him right here. If Spencer Petras,
his draft stock is
100%. If Spencer Petras wasn't complete ass, he might have been here last week. So
I was wondering. I was like, he's gonna be Spencer Petras for 1 more fucking week.
No, I mean he did okay.
Keep up the joke.
They actually won.
They won 27-0, I believe.
Yeah, I mean he didn't do anything special. So, but I got my fucking eye on him.
Well, first episode, I told you guys this is not ESPN. So if this was ESPN, I would tell Jaden that Anthony Richardson is the best quarterback ever.
Because he plays for an SEC school.
It's kind of boring this week. We have the same most disappointing performance. I have Anthony Richardson.
Fuck him.
He didn't look good. He didn't look good at all.
I'm still mad at
somebody I was really high on at the beginning of the season. He let me down. He didn't play
He looked good the first game. He looked good. I mean, not really passing, but as a fucking runner, like he was carving them up. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, anything you want to say on him? Like, what do you
think? I think you touched it all. he didn't play good. Like he's looking to be a fraud. Like I hope he's not. Like, cause I don't want a guy to fail. Like
who's their backup? Let's see. Jesus Christ! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They got 6 fucking QBs on this roster. All right. I mean, it doesn't have them as fucking starters, so I don't know who's the direct backup. Let's see. Anybody? They got freshman, sophomore, and they got a guy to Tulsa. Yeah, I don't fucking know any of these people other than him. So I if they do want to make a switch, I don't know if it'll be in the best interest of them. So I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do, but I don't know. You think if Florida just tanks this year, you think Billy Napier's in jeopardy? I mean, it's his first year.
I don't think he's in jeopardy because it's his first year. And I do think Anthony Richardson does have talent, and I could see them bouncing back. I thought they could have possibly been like a championship contender. I don't even see them as being like a contender to make the conference championship in the SEC. I think they might be a couple years away, and Anthony Richardson, unfortunately, what year is he? Is he a junior?
He's a sophomore.
He's a sophomore. He needs to stay another year. He needs to stay another year.
Oh,
he's not ready for the NFL.
I hope he'd be a fucking free agent in like a year and a half.
I hope he continues at Florida, develops, because I do think he has a lot of talent.
Yeah, he does.
They had him going like 3 to the Giants before the season started.
Some people were calling him fucking like Cam Newton 2.0 and shit. But other than the Utah game, I haven't watched their next 2 games. So I don't know if it's a him issue or they're having an offensive line issue or he's got nobody to fucking throw to issue. I mean, but he's not even having success running against these other 2 teams. Like, yeah, Kentucky's got a solid defense. But USF, like, that man should have had 100 yards rushing on them. Like, that's his thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, no fucking touchdown passes. Like, you're a quarterback. Like,
that's what I'm
Sam
saying.
Petrus has more QB pass.
Just a quarterback, but one of the highest like regarded quarterbacks in all of college football, and you ain't throwing a fucking touchdown pass.
All right, I don't understand what's going on down there. Like, I don't know.
So we got our Heisman top 5 going from there. I'll let you kick it off.
Mine didn't even really change. I think I switched 2 people around. Once again, number 1, CJ Stroud, but he's just having a killer season and just continues to pile on the yards. He's doing everything he can to just dethrone Bryce Young, and if he keeps it up, he will. Stetson Bennett, number 2, Caleb Williams, 3, Bryce Young, 4, and then Bijan Robinson, 5. He kind of slid, but I think I don't remember if I had anybody 5 that was dead. I think he might have been sitting at 5 last week, but
I think you might have had him at a tie at 5, but I can't remember.
Yeah, so he just kind of can't. He had a really good comeback game. I mean, he's not going fucking crazy, but if he keeps going crazy, then he could potentially slide up. I just wanted someone not a quarterback having 5. Like, you could probably put fucking Michigan's QB in there. Spencer Sanders, maybe.
There's a lot of good quarterbacks right now.
Penix. Man's got 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
I don't know what his like touchdown ratio and stuff is, but yeah, I don't know. I wanted a little bit of variety and not having fucking 5 QBs because it shouldn't be just a QB award.
I agree. I think it'll continue being a QB award this year. Unfortunately, we have a pretty close list. A few differences. I got CJ Stroud at my number 1. He has looked way more dominant than any other player, in my opinion. So far, it was a tough decision because I had Caleb at my number 1 last week, but Caleb didn't quite have as dominant of a performance as CJ did. Caleb is my number 2, though. 284 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 2 additional rushing touchdowns, and he didn't throw an interception, and he hasn't thrown an interception this whole game.
Yeah, he's going nuts.
And by the way, Stroud has not thrown an interception either, which is pretty crazy to me. And then we got 3. I got Stetson Bennett, also Another guy has not thrown an interception. He threw 284 yards, which is pretty crazy because him and Caleb have the same amount of yards. He had 2 passing touchdowns, no interceptions, and a rushing touchdown. And I think they took him out like pretty early in the game, like before the fourth quarter for sure.
They definitely need to groom their backup because I think is Stetson Bennett a senior this year?
If he's not a senior, he's a junior. Like he's up there.
I think he's definitely going in the draft. Probably not first round, but yeah. I think
look up his class real quick.
Yeah, he's a senior.
I feel like he's like a third, fourth round guy.
They got that's Jackson Muschamp. I wonder if he's related to Will Muschamp. I wonder if that's his son. Yeah, their next 2 QBs are sophomores, so they definitely need to kind of figure out, post Stetson Bennett. Honestly, I think they're just going to get somebody out of the transfer portal. But sorry, didn't mean to.
The new free agency essentially in college football. It's actually made this whole season very interesting to me, and it's made actually college football better in my opinion. A lot of people don't like it.
I like it. I mean, I think the people that don't like it have the teams that are either losing players of the portal or they're not getting anybody from the portal.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it if you're like Louisiana Tech and you had a really good quarterback and he went to fucking Notre Dame the next year. But like,
but I mean, if you have all these teams loading up with portal players, they have no roster spots for recruiting spots. Or I can't remember here. Like, do college teams have like 100% set number of recruiting spots that they have to fill?
They have like a set amount of scholarships they can actually give to recruits. So yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I wonder if the transfer portal is going to affect, like how big teams are going to go into recruiting. Like, Alabama recruits like and Texas A&M, Georgia, and Ohio State. The Notre Dame, like excellent recruiters. So I wonder, like, with the transfer portal, they're like, fuck it, we don't want to, pull up this, not draft, but fucking recruit this kid out of high school. And we got this sophomore from fucking West Virginia that's a baller. We just bring him in after so-and-so leaves and then boom, starter. He's already got experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Type thing, so.
I do think it already has. Like, if you look at what Deion Sanders is doing right now, he's pulling a lot of guys over. And they might have went to a bigger school if it wasn't for all this switching teams left and right.
Maybe
it's like a musical chairs of like who's gonna be a starter the next year, essentially.
Yeah, and then somebody loses their fucking spot on the team, and they're like, "Fuck it, I'm out of here." Transfer portal, like.
I mean, I would do the same thing though. Like if I got benched, I'm like, "Fuck y'all, I'm headed to fucking wherever. I'm headed to Syracuse. So I don't care as long as I
right." Especially in the skill positions, because I mean, they're locking those spots down. You gotta wait till they fucking leave to get your playing time. On the defensive side, I think it's a little easier because they
more rotate. Substitutions and stuff.
Yeah, they're running all over the fucking place, so they gotta substitute a lot. So, offensive wise, it's 100%. I'd be transferring the fuck out of there.
All right, at my number 4, I have Raheem Sanders from Arkansas. I believe he was my 5 last week. His name, I guess he goes by Rocket Sanders. So from now on, I will reference him as Rocket Sanders. He keeps getting better every week. He rushed for 167 yards last week with a touchdown. He ran for a 43-yard long touchdown. He has 44 yards on the season, and he seems to be the guy on that team that takes over when they need shit to happen.
Yeah.
So I have him at 4. Then at 5, I have Bryce Young. And I think he will work his way back up into my top 2 just at the moment. He threw two interceptions last week. One of them wasn't his fault. I went through and watched the highlights. One kind of bounced off the receiver's hands, which does really suck. And then
it's still on there, so I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. He got 2, and then I have a few guys that are like just outside. Dylan Gabriel, OU, played phenomenal. Jordan Addison, USC receiver, played great. Marvin Harrison Jr. played really good. Wide receiver at Ohio State. I had him on my list last week, and then Will Anderson Jr. from Alabama. He scored a defensive touchdown.
Yeah,
I'm curious to see how he bounces back.
I've seen a lot of like Heisman, like the Heisman watch, like Heisman rankings, and like everyone I'm kind of like looking at. It's got Will Anderson at 5, like just every week. Even after that first week, like he fucking had like 3 penalties and like I think 1 drive or maybe 2 drives, and I was like, it didn't really do a whole lot. So I was like, how the fuck you got
I've
him
looked at a lot of
5?
Heisman watches too, and I'm like, I disagree with a lot of you guys. Like, I feel like it's too early in the season. Like, anybody could still be right. It's kind of like playing the lottery at this point.
I mean, Will Anderson is definitely good, but he's not having the season I think everybody thought he'd be having. I mean, he's still got time, but
some big moments and some big games against some really good opponents could really shift that. We transitioned to game of the week. I feel like we might have the same game of the week. Who do you got?
I got a tie. So I got App State versus Troy. That game was fucking crazy. Did you see that last play? It was a Hail Mary to win the game. I think they was down by 4, and like that was just like the announcers were like going nuts. The commentators. It was incredible. I'm sold on App State this year. I like them.
I hope they get in like a New Year's Six game. Like they're not gonna make the playoffs, obviously, but if they made like a New Year's Six game against like let's say like Arkansas, like you play Arkansas or somebody who like is just outside, or Oklahoma State, like that'd be a really fucking good game.
App State's defense is just they're really good, and their offense does what they need to do, and that play was just fucking incredible. You don't see shit like that really too often. That reminded me like an Aaron Rodgers fucking almost like borderline playoff game to get in playoffs or a playoff game. I think he did that shit at Dallas, didn't he?
He did. He started a few times. He did it against Detroit. He did it against Arizona. He might have done it against Dallas as well.
I don't know. Maybe not, but he's done it fucking all the time.
He's done it like at least 5 times.
I don't know about the deflection to run it into it from another player, but it was, I don't know, it was beautiful. You couldn't have pictured that to happen. Like there was like 3 seconds on the clock, and it was the last play of the game.
I mean, think about all the Hail Marys that are thrown every year. How many of them actually work out? Like almost none of them.
Yeah, almost. And it was just incredible. I don't know. Is that a rivalry? Like, I don't know. What the fuck was game day there?
So they were originally, what I heard was, I think it was Chris Fowler or Kirk Herbstreit was talking about it. They originally were going to go to Texas A&M, Miami. But then I guess after the App State upset, they were like, we're going to go to App State, I guess, to maybe reward them for the upset. That's kind of how I took it.
I don't know. I don't know if there's history there, but a lot of the college game day signs are pretty funny, like trolling the A&M for paying them $1.5 million for just come in there and beat them. But and then second game, little bias, FSU Louisville, absolute fucking nail biter. I almost had a fucking stroke a couple times, and it drove me to drinking. It was just so good. Down to the last drive, not necessarily as crazy of an ending as the App State Troy game, but very good game, very close game. First conference game for the two teams, so it was a very needed win for both two teams, and kind of statement win, I think. Trap game. I told you. Fucking trap game.
It was a trap game, yeah, absolutely.
They almost fucking got our ass.
It was. I was watching that game
on Friday night. Who does that?
That's what I'm saying. I was at a high school football game for the people watching this with my girlfriend for reasons I don't want to get into, but I didn't even tell Jaden this because she's been kind of a curse just in case they lost, but I was at her house and Florida State was losing, and I told her, I was like, I'm not going to tell Jaden if like Florida State loses, because I think we've discussed this before. Like Florida State's essentially like my third favorite team after OU and UCLA, so I do really root for them. I do really get into their games, and I was like, please don't fuck this up. And then they won. I was pretty surprised with the backup quarterback after Jordan Travis got hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, you were giving me updates during the game, and you're just like, this game was fucking over. Like, we fucking lost.
I thought we were done. But yeah, we could talk more of it on the team talk. But it was fucking nail biter.
So my game of the week, you had it as a tie. I have it as pretty much my one game, Appalachian State versus Troy. That Hail Mary was like the most exciting like play I've seen this season. And I think Appalachian State is the most exciting team in all of football. They had that fucking shootout against North Carolina in the first game, upset against Texas A&M, then they have this Hail Mary to cap it off against Troy. I hope they continue to play good enough to maybe get in a New Year's Six game. because they're a very interesting team, and I have them kind of on my radar of like a team that might try to move Power 5 in the next few years, because they have at this point, since that Michigan upset way back in the day, 2007, I believe, they built up a fan base. They have quite a bit of, like, that crowd was fucking huge. I don't know about their stadium. That I would assume that stadium's been built recently. Like, it held a lot of people. There's a lot of App State fans. I'd love to see them in maybe, I don't know, Big Ten, ACC, something like that. I think it'd be really cool.
I think it'd probably be the Big Ten, because Appalachian is, I think that's what, West Virginia-ish.
Yeah, around that area. Which
I don't know exactly
right now there's no more
in.
rules. We got USC in the Big Ten. We got fucking West Virginia in the Big 12. Like,
all holds are off. Yeah, I mean, looking at their schedule, I mean, they got no ranked teams to play, so I mean that's kind of going against them to move up the rankings. But I got Coastal Carolina. I mean, I don't know if they're still good. I know they were good like a year or two ago, and then at Marshall. So I think that'll be a really good game. I'm actually probably gonna watch that one. If Marshall, keeps up their streak. Other than the upset in Notre Dame, I haven't really watched them too much. And what's crazy is I think the week of watching that Notre Dame Marshall game, I watched We Are Marshall with the wife. She'd never seen it, and
great movie.
Yeah, fantastic movie. And I was just like trying to find something to watch, and I think I was on the Fire Stick, just fucking scrolling through movies. And I seen it, and I was like, all right, I'll come back to it if I don't find anything else. Didn't find shit else, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna watch it. And I was like, hell yeah,
fantastic movie.
And then they fucking upset Notre Dame. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for Appalachian State. They deserve it. I like it when non-big schools look good, and they're getting some attention, they're getting some love, and yeah, game day being there is just gonna draw recruiting retention to them, so they're a little more in the national spotlight. I think that's only their second win against a ranked team outside of Michigan, and was 07, I think that was.
Yeah, I think they might have had like one more, but I can't remember.
I feel like I'm pretty sure I remember hearing it was like their second win.
I think you might be right. Yeah, they beat other like Division I schools, but I don't think they beat like
but not ranked like top 25. 10, so yeah, I think it's just good for smaller schools to be getting some looks like that, and I think they're kind of at that forefront. They're towing that line of maybe transitioning into a big conference.
All right, we're going to move on to our best performance by a team, but first I'm going to take a drink break. I don't know if you need to take one, but I'm going to grab a drink because I didn't have a third one ready for me. So I'll let Jaden entertain you guys for a quick second.
You need to get a fucking mini fridge, my guy.
Oh, that'd be a great idea. But I'll be right back.
All right, yeah, I'll just tell you when you get back. Telling me to entertain. Real fucking funny. Yeah, App State though, looking solid. Other than App State though, I mean, outside of like Division I schools, Jackson State, I really like them. And then the FCS schools, I mean, you got North Dakota State in there. They've kind of been pretty good. And Carson Wentz, so he was, I think they were going like hella undefeated seasons in a row. Other than that, Villanova, it's a basketball school. But yeah, Jackson State, I like them. Other than Deion Sanders, bitch ass stealing our number one recruit. I don't even want to talk about that.
What's he talking about?
Talking shit on Deion Sanders. I was just talking about, like other non kind of Division I schools, and I was just kind of looking at the FCS coaches poll, and I mean they got North Dakota State ranked 1 at 2-1, and North Dakota State has been good for a while. How many fucking like seasons in a row were they just undefeated? It was like a decent bit. Like
it was a fat couple, minute, yeah.
And they had Carson Wentz, and then I was like kind of looking through, and they got Jackson State at 11 at 3-0. And I was just talking about Jackson State and Deion Sanders, and he stole our fucking number one recruit. Piece of shit. I mean, I hate him for it, but I respect it.
I think he might have wanted the Florida State job. I think he might have, but it didn't sound like you all wanted to hire.
I don't think we did. I mean, he hasn't really fucking wanted nothing to do with our school since he left. Like he has no really ties to the school at all. And then I'm just kind of curious. I wonder like if we had Travis Hunter, like what kind of impact it would be. Like I wonder if he'd be starting. If he was starting, would he just be locking motherfuckers down? Because that's kind of what he's doing at Jackson State. I mean, the
competition level is not the same. Yeah,
talent level is a little different. Would he, I don't know if he'd even be starting, but would he be playing fucking receiver? Because like he plays cornerback and receiver. He's mostly a cornerback at Jackson State. I think Dion's really just mentoring and rolling him as just a straight corner and kind of keeping him, a little more healthy. Because I think he's been battling an ankle issue, so I think he's kind of keeping him off the offensive side of the ball. But what do we got here next? Best performance?
Yeah, who you got?
I got Oregon. They fucking handled BYU after. I mean that loss to Georgia. I was not expecting Oregon just beat anything this year. They scored 3 points. Like, yeah, it's Georgia. It's an NFL defense, but Bo Nix is not that bad. They have a good recruiting class. Oregon's not that bad. So I was like, are they just terrible this year or not? And BYU is supposed to be pretty good. And then they just fucking go and blow the fuck out of BYU by 21 points. And Bo Nix went fucking off. I was going to have him as my performer of the week. Or did we talk about performer of the week yet?
Yeah, we did.
I took CJ Stroud, but
yeah.
I was kind of thinking about getting Bo Nix. Let me pull up his fucking stat block for the game. It was pretty nice. Let's see. He went 13 for 18, missed 5 passes, 222 yards, 2 TDs, and then he rushed for fucking 3 touchdowns. So, I mean, yeah, it was only 35 yards, but I mean, it still rushed for 3 touchdowns. He gets a lot of the goal line carries and kind of within the 5 to 10 range. But I mean,
he's a respectable player. He's one of those guys. He has that kind of like, he's super competitive. You know what I mean? He's kind of like a Baker, like.
He's a big old fucking tool. He just looks like a frat boy. I mean, he's probably the nicest dude in the world, but yeah, it was an incredible performance after having that big fucking doors blown off the fucking team, and the team bus should have left them there, and they should have just found their own rides home after that performance. But it was a good comeback. I mean, playing a top 12 team after getting blown out against Georgia, and you just kind of handling the business and shitting all over them was pretty good to me. I respect it.
I think it saved their season.
Yeah, 100%.
They were looking like not good at all. That kind of puts them back in the picture. I don't know if they can work them way back in the playoffs. Maybe, no, 100%. Probably not.
If they went out and win the Pac-12, they lost to the fucking best team in college football. Like they would probably sit at number 4, and it would just be a rematch.
That is true.
I don't think they would win again, but I think they could. If there's other teams in there that maybe have another one loss, that one Georgia loss is going to look way better than a fucking OU lost to OSU at 9, and then OSU lost to fucking Iowa State, which they always do.
Or I mean, like,
you know what I'm saying?
Especially if they beat USC, or because like the Pac-12 restructured, I believe their conference title is no longer between divisions; it's between like the top 2 teams. Best records, so it might be USC, Oregon in that Pac-12 championship, which I haven't researched enough to see if they play them before then. But
no, they don't. They got Washington and then Utah back to back, and then Oregon State. That's their last 3 games. So they would, if they beat both of those teams, which are the other 2 dogs in the Pac-12, it would, and then if USC wins out, it would be Oregon and USC for the Pac-12, and then if USC is undefeated and probably sitting at 5.
See, I don't know if I'm just being a hater, but I think USC, like, they're going to be so overhyped I could see them being like number 2 if they're sitting at like 9-0. Like,
yeah, I could see
based
it.
on just like the USC, like
The
you know what I
program
mean,
and the
Lincoln
history.
Riley, yeah,
100%. I could see it too. So yeah, I think if Oregon comes back, wins out their schedule, beats USC, and it has a 1 loss at Georgia, they're fucking in there. Maybe even over an undefeated team that has no really good wins. I mean, I don't know who that would be. Looking at the top 10, it's not like we got fucking Cincinnati sitting there like last year, but
yeah.
I mean, if say like BYU was undefeated, sitting right up in there, they'd put probably Oregon in over them.
I don't know if there's a team really like that, but there could be. Not. I mean, it's still early. Kansas. Well, yeah, no, Kansas, they still have quality wins if they're undefeated. Though they beat OU, Texas, OSU. Yep. Like that would still be a quality team.
North Carolina, if they win out, they'll have quality ACC wins and probably beating Clemson in the fucking. I don't know if Clemson plays North Carolina in the season, but they'd be beating a fucking decent team in the ACC championship. I can never fucking remember division alignments in any sport.
See, Big 12 doesn't even have divisions, so I'm just like, I know the other guys.
I'm gonna hit you with a. To be honest, I'm kind of retarded line.
Well, and we're a little drunk, and like honestly, we ain't got the time to pay attention to every little detail.
Big facts. I mean, and you know, we don't have fucking people writing scripts for us and laying out
doing research for us and shit.
Yeah, if I was Kirk Herbstreit, then I'd have the whole fucking alignment set up on a piece of paper for you. But yeah, it's very viable. Their season, like their schedule, is not bad. They have Washington State on the road, which is a little tough, and then a pretty easy schedule up until Washington at home, Utah at home. So I think they can win out.
I do agree that they have a chance of winning out. They did play really good. My best performance, and here I come again with the bias. OU, they looked really good against Nebraska. The defense looked amazing. They looked a little shaky after that first drive. The offense was moving really fast, no huddle, up tempo. Defense was getting multiple sacks. And fun stat, OU leads the entire nation in tackles for loss of any team right now. So they were looking really good. And then they were playing in one of the craziest environments you could play in. Granted, Nebraska does kind of suck. Like, don't get it twisted. I know they're just playing Nebraska.
But they fucking sell out like every game.
They are the only team above OU that has more consecutive sellouts. That is a tough environment to play in.
100%. I wouldn't want to fucking play Nebraska. Like, I mean, I know they're not good. And you also got to look, they just fired their fucking coach. And I think their streak of like 13 games in a row losing by like within one score is like, they snapped that streak.
Yeah, by a lot.
So, I mean, Scott Frost, was keeping them in every game within a fucking touchdown or a field goal. And they just couldn't fucking pull it out. And so, they're losing their head coach. I think that could have had an impact. I don't know if they would have played better with Scott Frost, but
they could have.
I think they would have. See, Scott Frost, I don't think he's that bad. I think Nebraska just fucking sucks.
I think they're cursed or something, because I thought he was a good coach. I kind of want to get into this because we're talking about Nebraska.
The next head coach.
We're gonna Urban Meyer. What do you think about that? Do you think he would do it?
Yeah, I think he would, but I have a different one in mind. I'm thinking Lane Kiffin.
Oh,
I've heard that.
I have not heard that, but that is interesting.
You think he get pulled away from Ole Miss? Honestly,
Nebraska is one of the top programs of all time.
I think if he came to fucking Nebraska, they would just be bodying people in the fucking Big 12. Like,
I would leave Ole Miss for Nebraska.
Easier schedule, like 100%.
And just the prestige of going to Nebraska. Like, Ole Miss is a great school. Don't get me wrong. They had Eli Manning, they had Archie Manning, but they ain't really won shit in comparison to a Nebraska that was dominating, especially in the 90s. Like, that team was untouchable in the 90s. The 95 Nebraska team. A lot of people hold that as like the best team of all time.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know. I don't know how accurate that is, or if that's just people, talking shit. But I did come across that, and I think it would be an interesting move. But I mean, Urban Meyer, I don't know. Like, I just feel like Urban Meyer.
I fucking hate Urban Meyer. I'm gonna be straight up about it.
I don't know if like maybe he's just not like good enough for NFL football, but everybody fucking hated him in Jacksonville. And him in Ohio State, like, yeah, they were really fucking good. And then in Florida, they were really fucking good. So like he's got proven college experience as a head coach with really good records, really good fucking teams. A lot of issues, but they have a lot of drama, a lot of fucking scandals, off the field issues with their players. So I think he just really doesn't give a fuck about who he recruits as long as you can play football. Which is fucking I don't.
He's a smart guy. Like he was like they put him in like to call some of the game. Like he knows his shit. Nick Saban, like he tried to coach NFL, he sucked at it, and I mean look at him. But Urban Meyer, from the sounds of it, was treating his players terribly.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the difference. Like nobody really says anything bad about Nick Saban as far as his treatment of his players.
Because they win.
Another question I wanted to ask you: do you think Nebraska is even still that prestigious of a job to where the top head coaches would still want to go there? I guess is kind of where I'm at with it. Since they've been ran to the ground pretty much.
I think it depends. Like one, like if the whole conference realignment and they get stuck in the Big 12 with nobody, then no. Because who the fuck wants Nebraska? There's a bottom feeder school at the moment. On the other hand, yeah, they have the history, they got the fan base. So like that's really a lot. Everything you could want, and they do decently well in recruiting. So I mean, I don't know if it's just they need a good head coach to kind of finally bridge that gap between everything else. I don't follow Nebraska enough to really decide that. I think Urban Meyer could do him some good because people are going to want to come play for Urban Meyer. Like he's won championships. He's got Heisman players that he's coached. He's coached in the NFL, so he has coaching experience in the like elite level. So he kind of knows like what you need to make it to that level. So like he can, if you need to add, if you're a quick QB under him and you're like, hey coach, like what do I need to succeed in the NFL? Like whether or not he fucking knows what the fuck he's talking about, like he was there, so like they would probably believe him. So I don't know. I don't think so, but I want to say they could be.
That's kind of where I'm at. Like I actually want to see them back. That's an interesting team. They're in kind of like a small market. I kind of like seeing those types of areas excel. But I mean, we'll see. Going from there. Yeah, go ahead.
It's also a different time, like who the fuck wants to live in Nebraska? Like back in the 90s, like like
you ain't getting no NIL deals there.
Yeah, you're not fucking making no money. Like it's just a different time. I think that has another thing to play into a lot of these schools. Like you got these big market schools. Like Georgia's a pretty big market school. I mean, Alabama, I don't know. Tuscaloosa is not that big, but Nick Saban built that. So like, I don't know. I think that has something to play into it as well. Nobody wants to fucking live in Nebraska for 3-4 years. I
mean, it's like
there's nothing to do in Nebraska.
Yeah, I mean it's like Oklahoma, but worse, probably.
I don't know. I don't know. I've never been to Nebraska, but I just know it's
I've been there. I mean, like Omaha's cool. I've been to Omaha. Cool place. I don't know about the rest of the state. It seemed much like just an abandoned, like Curtis Cowardly Dog. You ever seen that show? That's what Nebraska looks like.
You said Courage the Cowardly Dog?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Most disappointing performance by a team. Who you got?
Florida. Florida. They're a bad team right now, and like I don't know. Just USF. They missed a field goal to tie to send it to overtime. Like if you're going to OT against USF, like come on.
It was
what fucking rank was Florida to start the season? Wasn't they like 12 or some shit?
They're up there, and then they jumped to what was like 8 after the win against Utah.
I think they were in the top 10.
They were definitely in the top 10. They were in my top 4.
Let me see if it'll show it on their schedule. I wish it would. I fucking hate ESPN. I don't know why I use this garbage. Let's see. No, I don't know. But yeah, that's like, come on, man. You're a fucking powerhouse SEC team, and you're getting pushed almost OT by USF. USF fucking sucks. So, and Anthony Richardson, your Heisman favorite, or not even Heisman favorite, but Heisman contender, NFL prospect, QB, didn't show up.
Florida did suck. We have the most disappointing player. We don't have the same team. I went with a team that lost. K-State, they looked pretty good. They were kind of expected to do well in the Big 12. I'm going to the game on Saturday. I hope they still suck around that time. But they lost to Tulane.
I actually thought K-State was going to be good this year. So
Tulane? I mean, come on now. Tulane? I mean, come on.
We're talking about Tulane?
like Tulane, man.
I don't even know what fucking state's Tulane is. Is that an Ohio school?
Ohio? I think it's Ohio. Yeah. That might be Toledo. I don't fucking know. Maybe Alabama.
Toledo is in Ohio. I mean, they're fucking both in Ohio. Green jacket, gold jacket. Who gives a shit?
How do you lose to Tulane? You're supposed to be one of the top Big 12. I'm less nervous about the game, but I'm still a little nervous because it's the same thing as Nebraska last week. They're coming back from a loss. They might be all fired up, but they are playing in Norman at 6 o'clock, I believe, is when the game starts. So someone will be there. I don't want to lose this game. I'm in the crowd. I do not want to lose it.
And wait a minute, with fucking K-State, I was expecting them to be good. They have Deuce Vaughn. He's a badass running back. That dude carries that team, and their defense was supposed to be pretty decent this year. What was the scoreline on that?
17-10.
So, I mean, it's a close game. I honestly, I didn't watch it or check any of the highlights. So maybe some calls kind of went the wrong way and kind of decided the game, or maybe a couple drop passes, a turnover or something. Let me see if I can find the stats for that. We'll see kind of what actually happened. Did K-State drop the ball or not? All right, we got no turnovers for touchdowns, so that's K-State had a fucking, what is that? An 80% chance, 76.5% chance to win going into that game. Tulane fucking had more first downs. K-State had more possession. Tulane even had 2 turnovers. They were tied on total yards. They were playing in fucking Manhattan, which is a pretty tough place to play. I wouldn't want to play in fucking Manhattan against a decent K-State team. That's kind of a trap game. Ugh. The third down efficiency for this game, my God. Tulane 1 for 12 on third down.
Jesus
K-State
Christ.
2 for 15. That's why this fucking game is just so low. I mean, Tulane 3-0 right now too. Like I said, they both had 336 total yards. Passing was pretty much about 150. Rushing about the same. Tulane threw 2 interceptions. K-State had 2 more penalties for 2 less yards than Tulane. So I don't know what the fuck K-State did there.
It sounds like a sloppy game overall from all the stats you're reading off.
Yeah, I was expecting with the score line and how low it was to be, a penalty deciding game or a turnover here, something like that. But K-State had no turnovers, less penalty yards, more time of possession, 1 more third down conversion. So I don't fucking know. That's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't a team originally. I was probably leaning towards Florida, but then I saw that score because I didn't watch the game either. But then I was like, K-State lost to fucking Tulane? That kind of blew my mind. So transitioning from there, we're going to the favorite team talk. I've talked enough about OU. I have some stuff about Florida State on my notes just because I know we're going to be talking about them. What do you got to say about Florida State right now?
I love them. I'm a believer. This team's we got fucking heart. When you're battling adversity, the last 2 games, it's been a very fucking close game. Both 2 games we've played two pretty good fucking teams. That LSU game, some say we should have lost. I say it was good. It was good playmaking on our part. It honestly, we should have blown them out. It shouldn't have even been at that point. We had a lot of issues going. We let them get back in that game, so that one shouldn't have even been that close. I think if we handled LSU, we would be ranked right now. Moving on to Louisville. Like I said, absolute fucking thriller, back-to-back weeks. Like, that shit is exhausting as a fucking fan. Absolute exhausting. I don't know how much I can handle. I'm glad we got Boston College next week as a fucking break. If we lose to Boston College, I don't even know what to say. But that should be a game where we can, kind of go in, maybe get up a few scores, kind of rest some of the starters, because we got a lot of we get a lot, and like we were saying with your fucking OU team, like you was able to get your backups in, your second, third string players, and get them some playing experience. We haven't had the fucking luxury since we played Duquesne, which is a high school team pretty much.
So let me ask you something about Florida State. I have this in my notes. Murderers Row after Boston College. You got Wake Forest, NC State, and fucking Clemson in a row. How many of those games do you think you're winning?
2.
Clemson maybe 3. Loss?
Yeah, I think if we are going to lose any of those games, it's going to be Clemson. They have a really good defense. Like, they got NFL talent on that defense. Yeah, so does NC State, but it's nothing like Clemson. I'm hoping Clemson's offense is still not kind of figured out, and they're still kind of fumbling by then. And Wake Forest has an NFL quarterback. He's going to get Sam Hardman. He's going to get drafted.
Defense doesn't look great, though. I actually have you guys probably beaten Wake. NC State, I haven't checked enough on them. Clemson, I actually think it's more of a toss-up than people think, because Clemson, we have question marks there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that NC State game is and it's a away game. NC State's a hostile fucking environment, and they don't like us. Nobody likes us. Come on, let's be real. But yeah, I don't know. I think we could. I'm confident in this team. We could win out. Like,
imagine if you won all 3 of those games.
Yeah,
you're talking about Florida State in the top 10 at that point.
But then we got a fucking Georgia Tech after that. Remember when they fucking beat us a couple years ago with the fucking last minute field goal? I think they might have blocked our field goal and ran it back.
That is like a defining moment. If you could win those 3 games out, though, that's a champion. You're looking at a championship contender at that point.
I don't know about
all 3 of those games.
We'll make the playoff if we win out, but I don't think we're not beating Georgia.
Oh no, yeah.
We don't have the O line. We don't have the O line.
You guys are definitely playing close. A lot more, like, you kind of know, like, if you played Georgia, unless like some miracle happened, you probably wouldn't win. But if you can win those 3 games, which I think those are possible wins, those next 3 games.
I agree.
I mean, what do you have after that? Like the SEC or the ACC championship? Like, pretty much. I mean, you got Georgia Tech and all these other like minor challenges. You got Miami
after Clemson. We got Georgia Tech, Miami on the road, Syracuse on the road. I don't know why everybody thinks we're fucking gonna lose to Syracuse. I mean, they're decent. They're not, they're not fucking great. Louisiana, which is a nice little warm up game for Florida, kind of maybe rest some starters. We got Florida at home. So we got Florida, Clemson at home, arguably our 2 biggest rivals currently. I think the Miami rivalries kind of fell off. I mean, it's still a fucking hard game, and we hate each other still, but I think it's definitely fell down below those 2. I don't know. It's this team, man. We're kind of all over the place, but we're like together. Like, our offensive line's still a little squeaky. Jordan Travis is out. I think last I heard he's got kind of some sort of ankle sprain, so they're looking at maybe 1 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, the head coach was like, I'm feeling good, but like he's gonna be out for like a couple of months.
I'm thinking hopefully he's back by NC State, but even if he's back, like, what capacity is he at? Is he full strength, like able to run? Because if he can't run, we're not gonna beat NC State if we put him in there.
I can't remember your backup's name, but
he looked
very good. I could see him like being able to handle some of the tasks thrown at him. Because that was
agree.
a big moment, a primetime game, even though it was a Friday. He's thrown in, your star quarterback gets hurt, and he performs when it matters. So I do think he could actually maybe do something against these big teams after Boston College.
After seeing him play that game on the road in a hostile environment in a game that once Travis went out, we probably shouldn't have won. I'm confident in him. I'm just worried if maybe he comes in overconfident after that and is trying to maybe force some throws to Johnny Wilson, who he was able to hit all game. So I don't know. I don't really know much about him. I know he like I said, I think he had one start before this game, so he literally has like almost zero experience other than that game, which is an incredible fucking experience builder and morale builder and confidence builder. So he's I don't know. He's riding high right now. I just don't want him to fucking be too high and then do something dumb, which we don't even need him to do that. If we can play these teams with not incredible defensive lines, we just run the fuck all over everybody. Like our running backs are insane. We probably have the best running group in college football.
Ward,
Chayshawn Ward's a bad motherfucker.
He was somebody like Raheem Ward. He actually has better stats than Rocket Morris.
Yeah,
but I'm like, he's played better competition, but he's somebody that could maybe climb up in there. He's
slimy, boy. He's slimy. He's so slimy. I love watching him run. So is Tuafili. But Tuafili can fucking catch, like, he's basically a receiver and a running back. And then Benson's just kind of a tank. So I don't know. I'm positive on him. We have really good fucking receivers. They're just a little inexperienced. A lot of them are transfers, but as a core with the team, they're a little inexperienced. But Johnny Wilson fucking balled out. Did you see that that catch in the end zone? I think it was our last touchdown we got.
Oh yeah, no, I saw that shit. That shit was
he fucking mossed that dude. I mean, granted, he's like he's so
in the
big.
End zone, yeah, that shit was nuts.
He's an NFL talent, and I'm fucking glad we got him because we need him. But I don't know. I'm excited, but I'm also like nervous about the team. It's weird. Like, why are we winning? You know, like it feels like we shouldn't be winning these games, but like we're somehow finding a way to just dig deep and just find a way.
But and if you improve week to week, then that's a good sign for you.
I'm also crediting it to the coaching. Like fucking, I think Norvell is he has brought this team a long way. We're starting to build a culture up. And he's just getting us where we want to be. And, you know, a lot of fucking people are just like, I remember I was like on Facebook at halftime and I'm in this like Florida State group on Facebook and it was my feed was just flooded with people posting. It was just like, oh, fucking Norvell's dog shit. Like, yeah, he does make a lot of fucking stupid calls. Like we're in the fucking goal line and he's trying to do stupid shit. Yeah, come on now. Just fucking run the ball. Just give it to Ward or Benson and just pound it. Like we're having success running the ball at that point. But I'm excited.
He's one of those coaches. I think you guys can have him for years to come. He does seem to motivate his players quite a bit. Yeah. He's looking good.
What are your thoughts? What are you thinking?
I thought Florida State looked good considering Jordan Travis was out. The defense is a little questionable to me, giving up that many points. The offense to me looks great. Even doesn't matter who you put in a quarterback. The offense is looking like a well-oiled machine, in my opinion. That defense has some question marks, but we'll see against Boston College. Like, I know it's Boston College, but if it shows improvement from the previous week, that's better. I think Florida State is a legit threat to maybe not win the ACC, but to maybe knock off some of the top teams in the ACC.
Yeah, now that I'm kind of like thinking, I think our biggest like statement right now is injuries. Like we have a lot of key injuries. Jordan Travis, the big one. Jared Verse went down. I think Travis got an ankle issue. He's out for a week to 3. Verse, I think he's got an MCL issue, so he might be done for the season, which is unfortunate because he was kind of like our star transfer on the defense and he was making waves. I think Levitt, our defensive tackle, who we were missing in that game, which is why they was able to run the fuck all over us, was out that game, and I think he might be out 2 more games. And then we lost another defensive tackle in that game. Bethune got hurt, but he was able to come back. So, and then we're missing our fucking starting right tackle. Like, we're just kind of banged up, and it's really not helping us at all. But adversity.
Yeah, I'm not like as up to the date as far as injuries and stuff goes. So I didn't know all that. So hopefully some people heal up a little bit.
Yeah. That's why I'm excited for this Boston College game right here before our fucking murder straight to, kind of rest some people and maybe not have a close game and just blow them the fuck out like we used to. So I guess we move on to you. If you got anything else you want to.
Oh no, I kind of milked them before, so I didn't even plan on talking about them in the favorite team talk. I'm gonna run and grab another.
A quick.
Okay,
yeah,
cool. We'll do it at the same time. Yeah, cool. See y'all in a minute. This break is sponsored by
Roll Tide.
Yeah, Roll Tide. All right, what's up, guys? I am back. Grab myself a beer real quick. I originally planned to look at some of the big news stories for the day for times like this when we take a break. Unfortunately, I did not. But thank you guys if you're still watching. We're figuring things out, and we're just. I think we're having fun. I think this is probably our best show so far. What do you think?
Shut up, Nick. Yeah, it's solid. I don't know. I mean, I think they've all been pretty good. I think we're just definitely flowing as the weeks going in, and we're getting more comfortable with how teams are doing, how players are doing. It's because I mean, first week it's one game. You don't really know. There's nothing to talk about other than that one performance. In the rankings, it's all fucking bullshit. It's all inflated. Honestly, I don't think there should be rankings before, say, week 5. Hot take. A lot of people feel the same way, but yeah.
Well, I mean, the college football playoff rankings don't even come out till like close to November.
Yeah, so we're just definitely kind of. There's more to talk about. There's a lot more sustenance in the season and stuff to look back to reference. Like, hey, this team did shit against this team. How do you think they're going to do against this team of a similar style or same conference? They got fucking upset by this team. Do you think they're going to win this week? You know what I mean? It's just easier as the season's going on. It's just kind of flowing a little more for me.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot more we could touch on now. The first couple of weeks we're kind of searching for things, but now things are starting to not become clear, but a little bit more clear than they were a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
And we're getting our schedule of things down that we want to talk about every week, adding some things that we want to discuss, removing some stuff. I don't think we haven't taken anything out yet, but we've added.
There ain't really nothing to remove yet.
No, but we've added a few things to kind of discuss, which is, I'm sure we'll have maybe another thing or two to add as the season goes on. Once the playoff pictures coming in, that'll be a separate fucking rankings discussion, and then oh shit, if any more crazy stuff happens, we could talk about injury. I don't know. I honestly, I think what we've got covered in the schedule. I can't think of anything that we would want to add that's not really already being covered.
The only thing I can think of is more like detailed, like very specific things, but we haven't reached that point in the season where those big things are really taking center stage. But so far, I'm happy with what we're doing so far. We're going to be doing, more stuff outside of football upcoming. I keep reminding you guys of that, just so you know, just so you're prepared for the non-football stuff coming up.
Right, and we've been talking about having a guest on for even the college football discussion, and
I nominate Jaden's dad as our first guest.
Yeah, he's the one that got me watching Florida State. But yeah, even for the non-college football, just the kind of general, I don't know. I thought a cool kind of topic we could do is like we pick like a conspiracy theory and just kind of chit chat on it, like what you think about it. We could bring anybody on for those and just go into the weeds and just go off into anything at that point. But yeah, and then we want to do a video game section, just kind of talking about gaming, because I mean I'm pretty big into video games. And
are you gonna do any streaming? Have you thought of that much? Like, because I'm not really into gaming. We're talking about maybe getting my brother on here. He's really into gaming.
I mean, at this point, I got everything I need. I just need to get a second monitor, and then I'm good to go. I was really wanting to wait for a little off topic, but I was wanting to wait for a big game to kind of come out and start then to potentially kind of inflate the stream a little bit. So I was gonna wait for the new Call of Duty to drop in October. I was gonna start then, but I'm fucking deploying in January, so I don't want to stream for 2.5 months and then leave for 4. So I don't know. I don't really think it's the best course of action. So I think I'm just gonna wait.
Yeah. So do watch out, since he is deploying. Me and him are gonna have to figure out a good time.
I mean, at least January is roughly the end of the season, so I might just miss.
Do you know what part of January you're?
I gotta be in the country by the 18th, so probably
we might be able to catch the very end of the season. Then,
I'd be lucky.
We might just be catching it just at the very end.
If not, we might just have to, because I'm gonna take my laptop with me, and I'll have internet over there, so we might just have to do a session at some time, maybe even if it's a couple days after, just kind of wrapping up the season, discussing the playoffs if I've missed all of them, or the championship, and just kind of capstoning.
Regardless, there is going to be a time where both it could kind of make sense. Like maybe it's 7 a.m. here and it's like 8 p.m. there. It could still make sense. Like I'm awake at like 6, so we could fit a time in to at least have like maybe 30 minutes to an hour to discuss things.
Oh, I'll figure it out 100%. I won't have my all my kit and caboodle, but I'm taking my headset and I got the laptop, so that's all I need.
That's all you need. Going from there, we're hopping back into the college football stuff. Coaches on the hot seat. I'll go ahead and start this one because I don't really have any at the moment. I thought the guys that I had on the hot seat, Marcus Freeman and Jimbo, I think they kind of gave themselves just a little bit of wiggle room, but I think they could be right back on it if things don't go great next week. Who do you have on the hot seat?
I didn't take them off. They one more loss to a shitty team from both of them. They're right back in there, which is very well possible. Like either of those teams, from the way that they've played, could just drop a game to some random fucking team that they probably should beat, and they're right back in there. More so probably Marcus Freeman than Jimbo Fisher. I think he's kind of like sitting, just fucking his pants are on fire, and he's just waiting. But I did have another addition. I got fucking Shane Beamer from South Carolina.
Oh, actually, god damn it, I should have put him on the list.
I mean, look at they beat Georgia State
1-2, yeah.
Yeah, they beat Georgia State and then lost to Arkansas and Georgia. Okay, yeah, not necessarily a shocker there, but like you got Spencer Rattler. I was talking about this earlier with a coworker. Like he was the preseason like one of the Heisman favorites at OU last year. Didn't fucking perform, got pissed, he lost his job, left. Now he's in South Carolina, supposed to be good again, and then now they're not. I've not watched any of the South Carolina games. I don't know if it's just on him. I'm going to flip over to his statistics in a second. Now I'm going to just kind of run through the team and kind of try to figure it out. But looking at their schedule, they got Charlotte, South Carolina State, and then it gets tough. I think if they lose either of those two games, I don't know. He might be done there, but I doubt it. Then they got at Kentucky, A&M, Missouri, at Vanderbilt, at Florida, Tennessee, and at Clemson. I think they're fucked. They might win those first two games at Charlotte and SC State and then lose all of those. So, I mean, what is that? 3 wins? Potentially?
Yeah, so. I mean, I didn't say I had high hopes for them, but I was thinking maybe they're 6-6, something like that.
I thought Spencer Rattler was gonna be good. 100%. I was like, all right, he got a new team. He's kind of been brought back down to earth a little bit.
I feel bad for him, honestly. I think
that needs to see like a QB guru or a therapist, because I think he's just kind of fucking.
He has a great arm strength. He's a very.
Maybe he's just really not that good. Maybe
he just doesn't have good decision making skills. I think that's his biggest thing. He does stupid shit. He wants to make plays. Like going to OU, I think set him up a lot. Like he thought he was going to be the next Baker or Kyler or Jaden, and he could just do whatever the fuck he wanted, and it didn't work out. He got replaced by Caleb. Now you're at South Carolina. This was supposed to be your redemption arc, and it is not working.
Absolute disaster. And the Arkansas game was kind of close. I mean, they lost by 14, but they got absolutely decimated by Georgia. So it's not looking good for them. Or old fucking Beamer. So
Beamer might end up on Venable's staff next year.
I don't know. I was kind of looking through teams, and I was just like, all right, who's not doing good that is gonna get fired? And it's looking like it's gonna be one of those 3. They're like on the big teams. We're not really necessarily looking too deep into
we're not looking at
the basement FBS teams.
Western Alabama.
I don't know.
State Tech, we're not looking at them.
I don't know. Fuck all about State Tech. That's not even a real team, but there's a couple.
I made them up.
That sounds like a Western Texas State Tech. That's probably a fucking Division 4 team or something. But yeah, I don't know. Looking at the rest of the teams, I was kind of looking at Billy Napier, but it's his first year. I think this is Shane Beamer's first year too. I'm pretty sure.
I think maybe it's
second, but really, I think first year you kind of get a pass, and last year you're just getting blown out and you go fucking winless. Marcus Freeman, I don't think is gonna get a pass, because I don't think
it's Notre Dame.
I don't think that necessarily the boosters and the president and everybody else wanted him. It was really, like I said, it was the players that wanted him. So that's why they fucking made him the coach. So I don't think he
top candidate for the Nebraska job. I think he'd actually do okay at Nebraska.
I don't know. That's why I think he's just fucking. He's not going to get that 1 year pass if they start dropping some games. I mean, we'll see. But Shane Beamer is sitting up there on that top spot, I think.
If I could go back, I didn't really consider him. He'd probably be my number 1, just by how bad they've been. Marcus Freeman, I just wanted to be nice to him and not be like, Marcus Freeman is about, because he did win. He got his first career win. I wanted to give him some credit.
Oh, and see, a lot of these kind of smaller. I mean, I'm looking at Vanderbilt. Just looking at Vanderbilt, their coach, Vanderbilt fucking sucks every year, but they don't fire their coach. Missouri, they almost fucking suck every year. They don't fire their coach. I'm looking at kind of these bigger teams because they're expecting to fucking win. South Carolina is a decently big team in the SEC, which is the biggest conference in college football. And you got fucking Spencer Rattler coming in. They're expecting you to win, and they're not. And they are a fucking disaster. So that's why I was kind of also eyeing Billy Napier, but I think he's gonna get that 1 year pass.
He's gonna get that pass. I do agree.
I don't know if they just start losing every game, they might. I don't know.
They are in the SEC. They could be in the same situation as South Carolina. Really thinking about it, because that level in the SEC, they're not going to be playing a lot of easy games.
No, I mean, and Florida's a bigger team.
Will get that 1 year pass, I think. But if he sucks next year, I think he's out.
Yeah, 100%. Unless the fucking boosters and the team just absolutely loves him, but I don't know.
You never know with them boosters.
Money talks.
OSU and Mike Gundy. I mean, he's been good the past few years, but there's some years where he should have got fired and he did. Going to a bounce back performance, I'm gonna hop into there first because I gave it to not a player but a coach, Marcus Freeman, finally getting his first win. It was a tough win against Cal. He's a guy I'm really rooting for, so that's kind of why I'm trying to not go super hard on him, because I think this is like, I have almost a conspiracy theory here. I think something happened at Notre Dame that's fucking shit up, and I think Chip Kelly knew about it, and that's why he left LSU. That's kind of the vibe I get, and they're setting up Marcus Freeman for failure.
You think it's like a Penn State thing, or
maybe not a Penn State, maybe not that extreme, but something maybe a little bit below that, maybe like a USC thing, maybe
like some violations,
like, because it's really weird that Chip Kelly leaves, and then all of a sudden Chip Kelly's not that great of a coach anymore.
Yeah, I don't really.
But Notre Dame's also not good. There's something weird going on there, in my opinion.
I don't know. Maybe Chip Kelly fucking hit him with the Jimbo Fisher treatment and was just like, yeah, I know I'm gonna leave soon, and I'm kind of waiting for a job to open up somewhere, so I'm not really gonna recruit. And that not recruiting thing's not really gonna show up for maybe 2 years from when you start doing that shit, which is what fucking Jimbo did to us. We won the national championship, and I think that next year shit started kind of getting weird. And I think he knew he wanted to leave, and it really kind of came into effect about a year or two after that. So that could potentially be it too. And maybe he was just ready to fucking go and was just tank the team with him.
Something seems really off about that, because like Marcus Freeman is not that bad. Like as an assistant, he was not bad. They looked good last year. Something made Chip Kelly leave, because that is Notre Dame. Like, if I was a head coach, and I don't know him, I don't know his story, I would not leave Notre Dame for LSU. I'd maybe leave Notre Dame for USC, Alabama, OU, Texas, maybe.
Yeah.
But I would 100%. Not leave it for LSU.
No,
that's just weird to me. Like, that's just weird.
Yeah, and because LSU has that independent schedule, they went out, they're in the playoffs regardless of the 4 teams. I don't know. I get what you're saying. It's definitely kind of weird. We'll see. I mean, it might not be a this year thing if it does come out. It might be a year from now or fucking 10 years from now. We'll see.
Mean, you never know. I kind of want to go off on a little bit of a tangent here, since we brought up the whole Jimbo thing.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about the situation. Florida State is way more of a storied program than Texas A&M. Do you know anything on why he left such a prestigious program to go to Texas A&M, who doesn't really have that much of a rich history?
So don't quote me here. I know it, and I don't even know if this is 100% like the reason he left, but I think it had to do with his son. I think his son had some sort of sickness. There was something fucking wrong with him. And I don't know if maybe we weren't able to provide him with the money he needed, or the insurance or the care. And I think A&M they offered him a absolute fuck ton of money. And I don't know if it was maybe in his contract that they was going to help his kid. I feel like it was vaguely something along those lines. And I think also he knew he was going to leave before he actually decided to leave. So I don't know. Don't quote me on it. I mean, I can look it up and we can bring it back next week.
Okay. I was just curious because Florida State is one of those big programs like an OU, Notre Dame, Texas. They've been kind of forgotten about the past few years, but they are on that level.
Yeah, at the time, I think that was kind of the word on the street. I don't know. I never really actually looked into it. Everybody was just fuck Jimbo, and we was yeah, fuck that guy. The whole fucking fan base. So nobody likes his ass. And as a Florida State fan, I don't think anybody likes Jimbo. Yeah, we appreciate the national championship, but that was fucking Jameis, if you ask me.
I think most people attribute that championship to Jameis. I do. When I think of that championship, I think of Jameis. That clutch drive at the end. I still
we had a really fucking good team that year. We had a really good team.
Who was that receiver? What was his fucking name?
Kelvin Benjamin.
Yeah, no, not him. There's another guy.
Rashad Green.
Yes, yeah, Rashad Green. Man, that dude was
Nick O'Leary is my guy, the tight end.
He was nuts.
I was looking at them, like none of them are fucking really like on a team now. Like we had I think we had pretty sure we had Devontae Freeman was our running back.
That sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah, I think we had Devontae Freeman. I think Carlos Williams.
Yeah, he was definitely a running back, yeah.
And like that offense was just fucking nasty. We had our defense was just goaded. But yeah, I don't know. Like he fucked us. He fucked us royally. And when they're just now recovering. Almost 10 years later. Piece of shit.
Yeah. Fuck Jimbo. We talked about this topic last week. We didn't really go super deep into it for like predictions for games next week. Okay, if you don't have that written down, I have a few games that I think are going to be really good.
I actually did not have that. Let me fucking pull up the schedule, and I'll kind of just little fresh take off the schedule and just kind of shoot from the hip on that one.
Clemson Wake Forest looks like to be the big game of the week for me, at least. Okay, or Arkansas A&M.
Let's see here. Yeah, Clemson at Wake Forest for sure. Duke at Kansas, 2 3-0 teams that shouldn't be 3-0 if you ask me. It's the college basketball powerhouses. I think that'll be interesting. I don't know. I could see game day being there. I don't know where game day's at. It's probably not there, but that'd be kind of cool.
Let me look that up real quick.
That would be fucking sick, you know. Game day being at Duke at Kansas, 3-0 apiece. Kansas has been absolute fucking. You know, it's on Fox Sport 1, so it's not. But I mean, that would be cool. I would watch that game. I'm probably gonna.
They are going to be at Tennessee, Florida this week.
I think Tennessee just fucking mops the floor with them.
That's one of the teams I think I had. Yeah, Tennessee, Florida. I had Arkansas A&M, Ohio State, Wisconsin.
I think Texas Tech could beat Texas.
Really?
Yeah. Texas Tech didn't look that bad at NC State. I think North Carolina could beat Notre Dame because Notre Dame's at North Carolina. What else we got here? Anything else spicy? We got an App State game at home. I've been playing James Madison. Oregon, Washington State. Does Washington State still have who's their fucking quarterback? Let me look that up. Is he the same dude that they? No, I think that dude went to the league. What is that dude's name?
I know who you're talking about. I think he went to the league though. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not him. I mean, the dude's got 727 yards, so he's not trash. That could be a trap team. It's a 3 p.m. game at Washington State. I don't know. Let's see. Arkansas at A&M. I think Arkansas just runs over them. I hope Rutgers blows Iowa out so we can talk about Spencer Petras next week.
Fucking Spencer Petras, man.
Hey, Marshall at Troy. Troy might be able to get some redemption.
Watch him be the next fucking Tom Brady in the NFL or some shit.
K-State at OU.
See, I'm gonna be there. Jaden's gonna have to update me on all the other games going on at like within a fucking 5-hour period of that game, because I'm gonna be at that game.
Yeah, I mean it's another kind of just, you know, average weekend of games. You know, there's like 2, maybe 3 like decent games. I don't know. I could see an upset or 2 maybe. I don't know if it'll be like fucking Michigan or Clemson, but like, you know, I could see fucking Baylor losing to like Iowa State or something like that.
I can see that as well.
I don't know. I'm just like
the thing about these type of weeks though is like last week, yeah, there wasn't that many like great games, but we learned a lot, and I think we're gonna learn a lot more this week. Considering there aren't as like that many evenly matched teams. I'm just praying they'll lose. That's all I'm praying.
Especially like those teams like out of the top 5. Like we'll learn a lot about Clemson this game. 100%. We'll definitely kind of get a gauge on really how good Clemson's defense is against a pretty good QB, and really how good their offense is against Wake Forest defense. Who else are we gonna learn a lot about? Is fucking Florida dog shit or are they not? Is Tennessee going to blow them out of the water?
See, if Florida beats Tennessee, they're in the same situation as Oregon. Like, they've kind of redeemed themselves.
Yeah. But I don't know, that close game against fucking USF is not going to help them. We'll learn some shit about Notre Dame. They're playing probably outside of Ohio State, their next best competition so far in North Carolina. North Carolina's not too bad. They got Drake May, that freshman. I actually kind of like him. He's there's a lot of like weird history with like the May family in North Carolina. Like, I think or maybe not with their family in North Carolina, but his families, they're all fucking like professional athletes or some shit like that.
No shit.
Yeah, I think his like dad was a football player. I think his brother might be, and some like uncles or some shit. I don't know. I think it was the first game of North Carolina's season. They was talking about it. They was hyping his ass up. So I think he might end up being, kind of Sam Howell type player by the time he ends up coming out of North Carolina, if they really kind of give him the development that he needs. Because as a freshman, let me check his stats. Because last week he had a pretty good game. So, I mean, he's got 930 yards on the season, 1 interception, 11 touchdowns. So
that's looking pretty solid, yeah.
And they've blown out fucking their first 2 teams. Yeah, the Georgia State game was kind of close last week. They won by I'm bad at quick math. I don't know. They won by like a decent bit, like touchdown and a half. But yeah, North Carolina has not got an easy schedule. They got Notre Dame, Virginia Tech, Miami, undefeated Duke, Pittsburgh, Virginia, Wake Forest, Georgia Tech, NC State. So, I think we'll kind of learn about. And North Carolina is also 3-0. So we shall see. I hate playing North Carolina, but I kind of like them.
They're a great offensive team. Like, really, over the past few years, they really have been. Same how they had.
Who is their fucking coach? It's like a big
Mac Brown. Mac Brown from Texas. Yeah.
Great I think coach. Mac Brown's really kind of done a lot for this team.
All right. Well, we've pretty much ended our college segment. Do you want to go any further, or are you kind of good for the night?
Yeah, I'm down. We can go off on fucking tangent. I'm locked in.
All right. Well, I'm gonna take a little quick break, real quick, and then we'll hop back into the rest of our stuff.
All right. All right, boys. Well, and I guess and girls, if there's any watching, if you guys are tuned in, this is the end of the college football discussion. So more than likely, we'll probably hop into maybe some NFL talk, probably some fantasy stuff, fantasy football for NFL. We're both in the same league. And then, I don't know, fucking whatever else. So, yeah, if you don't want to watch any of that, you can just in here. But Jesus Christ, Josh Allen is looking good. Let's see here. Am I gonna win fantasy? I was winning by 9 points. Oh my god, what happened? Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm trying to fucking log into my fantasy team, and
are you losing?
I'm hold on. Who's calling me? Hello? A Yahoo phone verification. I hit the wrong button.
Oh, fucking Jaden got me 27 points.
Your code is 4377373. Goodbye from Yahoo.
Goodbye. All right. That was weird. I've never fucking seen that before. Let's where the fuck's my team at? Yeah, I was looking at the where is? Oh no, I lost. Fuck. Because I pretty much told everybody we ended the college football segment, so We don't want to stick around for anything else. We're probably just gonna talk about NFL fantasy or whatever the fuck else we end up just bullshitting on.
Yeah. So if you're only interested in college football, it's kind of your point of leaving, which is fine. Some people are more college than NFL, and who knows what the fuck we're going to talk about for however much longer we're going to be on here.
But I pulled up the game cast, so there's 2 games on right now. So Buffalo is blowing the fucking Tennessee Titans out of the water, 34-7, third quarter. And then Philly's beating Vikings 21-7, almost in half. And so going into my fantasy game, I was up by 9. I have my kicker, and all boys got AJ Brown, Dallas Goedert, and Devin Singletary. And I was like, okay, I mean, I'm up by 9 and I got my kicker. I'm probably going to lose, but I'm down by 1.28. And I mean, it's second quarter and third quarter in the game. So as long as none of them motherfuckers get any more points, my kicker could pull it. I got a 17% chance. Are you saying there's a chance? Did you win this week?
Yeah, I'm 99% like set to win. I got Jalen Hurts scoring 27 for me already tonight. Devontae Smith, hey, he got some points. He was 0 for me last week. He got 6 points so far. I had Nick Chubb with 30.
Damn.
And I mean, if you guys don't know, me and Jaden are in the same league. I don't know all these people because they're people Jaden works with. But there's this motherfucker in our league that got 172 points. That motherfucker had Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill, and that motherfucker from Detroit.
Monroe St. Brown?
Yes. What the fuck?
I have to play him next week.
I'm scared of this guy.
I have to play him next week. I'm so sad. I'm hoping like all 3 of his like main people have like their hardest fucking team of the year scheduled, because my team is fucking shitting the bed. I got Mike Evans, who's suspended next week and got suspended halfway through that game. So, who's to know if the rest of that game, maybe Mike Evans scored another touchdown, maybe 2, I'd be up by fucking 13 points right now, which I could potentially win with that. So his ass, and then
have a 17% chance of winning at this current moment.
Yeah, I need fucking Minnesota to start kicking some 50-yard field goals.
But you're only 1 point behind at this very second.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. As long as those 3 people just get fucking nothing, it's decent chance. 17% chance.
I was last place last week, so I'm feeling a lot better about myself. I thought, damn, I drafted a terrible team. I am 3rd this week in points from the looks of it.
Dude, Josh Allen is going nuts. He's got, in the third quarter, 317 yards, 4 TDs.
Jesus Christ.
And man, and like there's nobody else on the entire stat like sheet that has fuck all. Stephon Diggs is going nuts too. He's got 148 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's 18 points right there, and another almost 15 points from yards, and then 6 points from catches.
I don't even want the Bills to be good.
That's the dude's pushing. The dude's got like 30 points, and Derrick Henry's fucking got 25 yards and a touchdown.
I'm glad I didn't draft him. I think I might have had the chance, or he got drafted like right before me. But I'm glad I missed out on him.
We'll flip over to the other game. Let's see what we're looking at on here. Where? That's not what I want. What the fuck is this? I don't want the game cast. Nani. Box score. Yeah, Jalen Hurts is. He's got 2 rushing touchdowns and 41 yards rushing. That's where all your fucking points are. Kirk Cousins is doing fuck all. Dalvin Cook has 3 rushing yards. And it's almost halftime.
He was another guy that was on the fucking board, I think, when I drafted.
But he's only got 3 carries. Like, what the fuck? Jalen Reagor is the wide receiver, and he's got 1 carry for 17 yards. I think Philly just has the fucking ball this whole game, and they're just running it with Jalen Hurts, because Miles Sanders has the same amount of carries and half the yards.
He has 2 rushing touchdowns already.
Yeah,
Jalen does. My MVP pick. If he wins, he probably not going to, but if he does, I'm a fucking genius.
Stole him from me, you piece of shit. Yeah, and then Miles Sanders, that dude fucking sucks. And like fantasy, like he's a good athlete.
Didn't he play good last week though?
I think he had a decent game, but like they need to fucking trade him because he's such a good running back. Like he's just not good fit for their team. He needs to be on a different team. If I was him, I'd be like, yo, fucking trade me. I'll go anywhere else because I'm not getting anything. I'd go to the Jets.
The fucking Jets.
The Jets are decent. All right, so this is another thing I wanted to talk about.
The Jets.
The fucking NFL this year is weird. Like the teams that should be good are not. Teams that are bad are like decent. It's just weird. Like I kind of just like the Jets 1-1. They beat the Browns by 1. The fucking Browns blew their lead, which is not surprising. The Lions are fucking 1-1. They beat the fuck out of the Commanders. They were up big too. The Bucks don't look good at all.
2-0. 2-0.
To be fair, they're missing like 3 offensive linemen and like all of their wide receivers. So
Brady finds a way to win.
I get it. No, that defense found a way to win. They stole everything from Jameis Winston that game. I think
Brady's getting the credit.
I think they had like 3 or 4 interceptions. I know 3 for sure. Might have had a 4th one. Giants 2-0, baby.
What do you let's expand on that. What do you think about that team? Are you confident?
Remember last week when I said they could go? Remember last week when I said they could go like 10-0? I was talking to my buddy. He's a Packers fan, so we got the Packers in 3 weeks, and he doesn't think we're gonna win. But all right, we got Cowboys next week. I don't know what the fuck Cooper Rush is, but he's not what I thought he was. I picked up the Bengals defense because I was like, oh, Dak's out.
He's pretty solid.
Dude, he raped the shit out of. Oh, he didn't rape them.
He knows the system though. He's been in that system for a minute.
He shit all over them. And the Cowboys defense shit all over Joe Burrow. So I don't know about that one. I don't think we're not gonna be able to run the ball on them. So it's gonna be Daniel Jones show. And I don't know. I think they could get us potentially, but I think it's closer than some people think. I'm vaguely optimistic. Bears, I think we beat them. I think we beat them for sure. Might be another close game. We've won by 1 point and 2 points in the last 2 games. So I don't think we're not that great, but I think we're better than a lot of people thought we were. Packers, I don't know. It's gonna be weird. And then the Ravens, they'll probably beat the shit out of us. But going into the season, like I said, I thought we were going to win 5 games, like max. But I think we're showing out.
I think the Giants look good. I mean,
we might make the playoffs.
Probably the second best team in the NFC East this season. Like you got the Commanders, Cowboys without Dak for probably about half the season.
I think he's out for 6 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to beat the Eagles, I don't think, but like you could sneak into the wild card.
No shot we beat the Eagles. Pats pulled out a close one against the Steelers.
I was pretty happy about that one. I mean, we didn't look pretty.
So another dude I worked with was saying the muff punt that they run for a touchdown was like the first in like 20 or 30 years in the NFL. Or something. Have you ever seen a fucking punt return for a touchdown in the NFL? And like, I don't know. It happens in college all the time, but I don't know the last time I seen it in the NFL is. I don't know if that was just kind of out of nowhere or if there's some truth in that.
But like a punt return for a touchdown.
No, like a block punt, muff punt type thing for a touchdown.
It doesn't happen often. I've seen like muff punts, but I don't know if I've seen them for a touchdown.
But yeah, I guess that's what happens. Patriots. What do you think? You think Mitch Trubisky lasts the season? You think they put Kenny Pickett in?
My brothers told me they've already announced they're starting Kenny Pickett.
Did they? All right. Okay.
That's what I don't know how accurate because he's not super into football, but that's what he was telling me. So I mean, I feel like he would at least know a little bit just because he doesn't know that much about football. He would at least tell me because I would know.
Yeah.
I didn't question him. I was like, all right. And then what do you think about Jimmy Garoppolo, Trey Lance out for pretty much the season? How do you feel about that situation?
I think it's probably the best thing that could have happened to them. Because I mean, I like Trey Lance. He's got talent, but Garoppolo is just he's consistent. He's got experience. He's got playoff wins. He's mentored under Brady. Like the dude just he's got it. He knows what he needs to do. He's like not a game manager. I think he's like a step above a game manager. He's not like gonna go. Yeah, he might some games go out and just fucking sling it and win you the game himself. But I think he does what he needs to do to win.
He reminds me of like an early Tom Brady, like when Brady wasn't considered like a great passer.
Yeah.
But if you gave that man time with about 2 minutes left, he maybe managed the game the whole time until that point. But that last 2 minutes, he's gonna get you there. Granted, like, yeah, he lost the Super Bowl, but he's been in, what is it, like 3 NFC championships at this point? I think I might be wrong. It might be 2. But he has 1 Super Bowl appearance. Like, he performs when it matters.
He's got experience. I don't really know why the fuck they just wanted to abandon him. Like,
I was talking to my brother about this. Like, I was like, imagine like the 49ers just march down, win the Super Bowl. And then at this point, they're like, we really want you, bro. And he's like, nah.
Bitch.
Y'all want to get rid of me? Fuck y'all.
So that's another thing. Like, I'm thinking if Garoppolo has a good season and he, takes him to the playoffs, which he probably will, because like that division's not looking super crazy this year. The Cardinals look like fucking dog shit. The Seahawks don't look that great. Geno Smith somehow fucking just keeping them alive. And then fuck's that 14? That's the Chargers.
Cardinals,
who's the fucking
Seahawks, 49ers.
Is it the Rams?
Yes.
Yeah, and the Rams kind of look like dog shit this season too. So the fucking division's up for grabs, and I think Garoppolo is going to run away with it. They have plenty of weapons. George Kittle's healthy, which he's never healthy all year. They got Ayuk. They got Deebo Samuel. They got decent running backs. Like they got weapons, and their defense is pretty good still. So they got everything they need to do to make a good run, and I'm for it. And yeah, so that brings in the question, like, say Garoppolo leads them to the playoffs, and maybe they win a playoff game, lose their second one. What the fuck are they gonna do next year? Because they only signed him for a 1-year deal.
Exactly.
You think they just abandon Trey Lance and fucking say see ya, kid, or do you think they just tell Garoppolo to kick rocks and then that'd be dumb? I don't see
this is what I think happens. I think they're gonna go after Garoppolo, and I think he's gonna be at that point like, I have options now, and y'all are about to get rid of me. I think he will leave. I would.
Did you hear Lamar Jackson talking about like wanting to leave?
No shit.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what it was. I think they're not offering him like what he wants. So
they gave him like a rookie. He's still on a rookie deal.
They wanted to franchise tag him is what they wanted to do. And he was like, nah, fuck that. Like, pay me my fucking money. And I don't know if they want to do it this year or if they're just like not wanting to do it, period. I don't know if they're just not agreeing where they want to be. But that'd be dumb to let him walk, but it would be wild. I'll take him in New York. Bring it. Let's get it.
From the sounds of it, it sounds like he's right now. He is currently playing on his rookie deal, which is very risky considering he's a mobile quarterback. He could get hurt. He could be screwed out of maybe hundreds of millions of dollars. But you know what I mean? Like
100%. I think he's good for 200 mil. Yeah, I'd pay him 200.
He's risking that money on the field right now because they didn't give him what he wanted. He was just like, fuck it. I'll take the loss if it happens, but I'm that good. Y'all are not going to underpay me. And I think they're fucking up right now.
And a lot of people that do that shit, they just sit. Like Deshaun Watson.
And he's still playing. I respect it.
Oh, because I think they honestly believe they have the team that they want to, make a run. Same with the Steelers. I think that's probably why they're wanting to switch to Kenny Pickett. I think they're in, kind of like a win now with that defense. I was really kind of thinking that they would, just let Mitch Trubisky fucking just go out there and shit the bed and like, because, the thing with, throwing the rookie QBs in there is like they have these expectations. If they don't perform, that's Like the fans are pissed off. The fans are like, "Oh, we should have never drafted him. Why did we draft him as high as we did? He's not worth it. He's not gonna be shit." And it's a real fucking confidence hit. And I think they were kind of wanting to not do that, and that's why they was like, "Yeah, we'll get Mitch Trubisky and see how it goes." And then he's not really doing anything. So I don't know.
Lowers expectation a little bit, like for Pickett. Like, yeah, like the other dude sucks. Like, can we get much worse? Like, they might have more patience for him, having him like come from behind.
We got the Jags blowing the Colts out of the fucking water. 24-0.
The Colts, I thought they were a legit Super Bowl contender. They are looking like a first overall pick contender at this current moment.
0-1.
They're not that bad, but
I don't know. Out of all the other bad teams, like it's weird. Like I was like looking and I was like, there's not really like the number one like bad fucking team. Like it's kind of close between some of them. Like yeah, like the Falcons 0-2, but like are the Colts worse than the Falcons? I think so. The Panthers are 0-2. Are they worse than the Falcons? Maybe, but they're probably better than the Colts. Like it's just kind of like it's weird. That's what I'm saying. It's a weird fucking season so far for NFL. Like, you got the Dolphins beating the Ravens. Like, Tua went fucking berserk. I think he had 6 touchdowns.
Oh, yeah. And he scored 4 in the fourth quarter.
Weird. They came back from, let's see, it was 7. That's 28-7 in the second. 35-14 going into the fourth quarter, and then the fucking Dolphins scored 28 points to the Ravens 3. That's crazy. Dude's a man possessed out there. Rams beating the Falcons. Should happen, but it was a lot closer.
Mariota's not looking too bad at the Falcons at the very moment.
Yeah, I think they're definitely happy to let Mariota, because I don't think they had a lot of expectations to win anything this year. So I think they're happy to let Desmond Ridder sit, learn what he can from Mariota, not go out there and get blown the fuck up. So yeah, you don't want to do that to your fucking first pick in the draft. He was their first round pick, right?
I think he was their second round pick.
Second? Oh, they took Drake London with their first pick.
Yeah. I think he was their second.
He's been having a good decent year. 49ers beat the Seahawks by 20 after fucking Garoppolo came in. Yeah, I think he came in the second quarter, right? Because they only scored 6 in the first quarter, and then they came and dropped 14 in the second. So
yeah, they started balling out after Garoppolo came in, essentially.
Fucking Bengals dropping to the Cowboys.
I feel bad for Burrow, but they are not. Like, this is a rebuilding year for them. They're going to have to build that offensive line up again in the draft.
It shouldn't be. They drafted O-linemen. That's like their first couple picks. Man, if I was Burrow, I'd be like, fucking trade me. Like, get me the fuck out of here.
Give me to New England.
There's a lot of fucking teams I would rather be on. Like, not the Packers or the Bears. Their weapons fucking suck. But I'd go to the Cardinals. I'd go to the Raiders. I'd go to the Broncos. Texans ain't got dick. I'd go to the Cowboys. I'd go to the Niners. Seahawks only got Tyler Lockett. Rashad Penny. That's pretty much it. Yeah. The Rams are fucking loaded. Falcons got decent weapons. They got Kyle Pitts, Drake London. I'd go there. I think all these teams have better offensive lines and at decent weapons. I mean, you're not gonna fucking Jamar Chase still, but like. I'd be like calling up the fucking the Minnesota Vikings, and I'm like, yo, me and Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins, he's kind of getting old.
I think Jamar Chase is the only reason he hasn't like kind of started testing a little bit. Like he's usually players don't request a trade this early, but like they kind of get on that fence of like challenging the franchise. I think Jamar Chase is the reason he doesn't want to leave.
I'd be fucking pissed. Like, how many sacks did they give up? Let's see. Can I look up fucking sacks for Joe Burrow? He's got 13 sacks through 2 games.
That's crazy.
Let me look up if I can see the stat leader or sack leaderboard. Let's see. Does that pull up anything? How do you fucking... Let me look up stat. There we go. Stats. How do you even look up like QB sacks? Fuck, what is that at? It should be on here. But yeah, it's fucking 13 sacks in 2 games. Like, that's fucking terrible. Absolutely terrible. I would be absolutely fucking pissed if I was Joe Burrow. I'd like, what did you guys draft us? Like, this is terrible. That O-line is absolute dog shit. Dog shit. Moving on. Broncos and Texans, fucking boring. I thought Russell Wilson would be doing better. I don't think they've scored above 20 in the first 2 games.
They haven't looked good. I think he will adjust. I hope. At least I think he's a great player. Did we talk about Seattle fans booing him last week?
No, we didn't, but I heard about that.
What did you think about that? That's fucked up.
That is fucked up. That man won you a Super Bowl. That man revived your team. Like, they weren't shit before Russell Wilson got there. Not for a hot bit. Like,
no, fuck no, they weren't. They went to the Super Bowl in like 2004. Matt Hasselbeck type of shit.
Who's that fucking running back there?
Sean Alexander.
Yeah, they were like shit since Sean Alexander was there. And even when they had Sean Alexander, they weren't like great. Yeah, that's just fucking wrong. Like, that dude loved that team and loved that city. And I think he did a lot for them. And that's just fucking wrong. I don't get it. They're just fucking mad that he wanted to leave. Like, I would leave too. Like, it's the same situation as Joe Burrow. No fucking offensive line to be had. He's tired of getting fucking beat up. He's tired of having to run for his fucking life, which he was doing all the fucking time. Yeah, still making magic happen, just like Aaron Rodgers type situation. But Aaron Rodgers has an offensive line. Yeah, that they have no
that's
fucking.
Fucked up. That's fucked. I mean, like,
they got no right. That man got you a Super Bowl.
He made them relevant. They were not shit before he got there.
No, and also, I mean, to be fair, the defense was also
true.
But he's still the fucking quarterback and still made the plays that needed to happen to get you fucking there and score the points. So, pound sand, Seattle fans. If anybody watching this is a Seattle fan and you booed that man,
fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you. I want you to go pound sand. I'd say something more provocative, but Cardinals, man, they fucking suck.
They won though.
They fucking Kyler Murray looks like dog shit. Other than like the fourth quarter of that game, but what the fuck is he doing? He's too short. He's too short.
I was watching the game and I saw like Kapesca swatting. I was like, I remember Jaden talking about how he's just a little bit too short. I do think his athleticism should carry him a little bit. That's kind of how he got back in the game like yesterday.
I think he's starting to get figured out in the passing game. And the Raiders have a decent defense too. I don't know how the fuck they just let that happen.
I feel bad for McDaniels. I thought he was going to do good there. 0-2 to start. I mean, I hope it ain't another Denver situation where he gets fired real quick.
I think if they can make it to when DeAndre Hopkins comes back, like with a respectable record to where they're still kind of competing for a playoff spot, I think that'll help because that man was just throwing it in the direction of DeAndre Hopkins last year. And like, I mean, come on, they're just gonna catch it.
He's DeAndre on my fantasy team.
He's just like he's out there somewhere, fucking just sling it over in that area. So, yeah, Kyler Murray, man, and then the Raiders are 0-2 with Devontae Adams. They made the playoffs last year, didn't they?
Oh, I think they no. Wait, yeah, they did. Yeah, it was the Chargers that fucking gave up. Yeah, the Raiders Chargers.
Yeah, so
fucking stupid ass team.
It's pretty much the same team. No John Gruden, and you added Devontae Adams, and they're 0-2. So, what do you think? Their car issue?
Bring Kaepernick. That's what I say. They're working him out.
Out of here.
Bring him in. Bring him in.
He's not going to do anything.
Watch him get a shot in the next 2 years, like before he's like 40. I guarantee you.
Okay.
He's a not a Pro Bowler, but he's like a fucking Kirk Cousins level quarterback, which is pretty respectable.
I hate you. That is. Are you smoking crack?
Well, I've had 5 beers, so I might be fucking exaggerating a little bit. Well, and a lot of Jack, actually.
Okay, I was about to say 5 beers, man. Jesus Christ.
I was like, oh, look at this almost empty bottle of fucking whiskey.
Jesus. But yeah, fucking Kaepernick, the other minute, when's the last time he played football? It's been like 6 years.
He looked good in his workouts, though. Do you see those?
No, they're fucking terrible. That guy sucks.
He looked good. What are you talking about?
He can't now. I don't think he's got it.
He was one play away from winning the Super Bowl. He is a great player.
I think he's a good athlete.
He is a. It's a good comparison. He is a Joe Flacco level player.
No, they're not even the same type of player.
I'm talking about you compare their fucking legacies. He's like not even close to being a borderline Hall of Famer, but he is better than average.
Jesus Christ. All right, Packers. What do you think about them?
Man, I'm kind of drunk now. Fuck the Packers. I was very disappointed to see them win.
I agree. Fuck the Packers.
Like the Bears, I'm rooting for them. Justin Fields, he cool. They got what's the receiver's name?
Darnell Mooney.
Yeah, he's solid. Like I don't know. I've always kind of liked the Bears. Like they're my NFC North team if I could choose one.
That team is a dumpster fire if I've ever seen it.
Oh yeah. They're definitely shit. I want them to do good.
Yeah, I just like their a defense team, and like I love defense, but like, yeah, it's just like it's like I hear the Bears and I feel like I got like a bad taste in my mouth.
No. They're guaranteed. If you hear the Bears, it's guaranteed to be like the most boring football game you could possibly fucking watch.
Like, yeah, we're gonna score 7 points and we still might be able to win.
You're looking at a 14 to 10 point game, or maybe even worse than that. We're looking at like a 9-3 game if you're thinking about the Bears.
And then you got like a Chargers Chiefs shootout on the other channel, and you're like, I'd rather watch this game. This shit's awesome.
Oh yeah. Thanksgiving games, isn't there be interesting this year? We got Cowboys, Lions. I didn't see the third one, but Lions
fucking always play.
The Cowboys and Lions are like guaranteed. They like agreed to some weird agreement like a long ass time ago that they'll be the Thanksgiving like team. I hate the Lions game. They're like the earliest game. Like this game is ass. They're looking good this year.
Yeah, they actually got some weapons. Fucking Amon-Ra St. Brown, DeAndre Swift's finally fucking actually healthy. Like
trying to see their game.
Their defense ain't terrible. They
play the Bills. They play the Bills on Thanksgiving, and that might be a fucking good game, actually. The Lions.
Who's
Lions Bills Thanksgiving day?
Is it the only one?
No, there's a Cowboys game and there's a third. I'm gonna have to look at the whole Thanksgiving game. I don't know why I just looked at the Lions.
Oh, why are you looking that up? What the fuck are we gonna talk about of this? I mean, I want to keep going. I'm fucking. Unless you don't have anything to talk about.
Oh no, I'm down to keep going. I don't know what we're gonna talk about. There's some shit we're gonna talk about like after the recording.
Yeah, offline.
That is gonna be interesting, and I might actually address it in our next episode. But running it by you first. Thanksgiving games 2022.
Cowboys are probably playing like the Bears or the Packers.
Let's see, we got the Buffalo Bills at the Detroit Lions, the New York Giants at the Dallas Cowboys, and then the New England Patriots at the Vikings.
Those are all pretty good.
We gotta watch all 3 of those fucking games that day.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna be in fucking Colorado for Thanksgiving. Well, not unfortunately, but I will be in Colorado for Thanksgiving. So.
Colorado's a great state. I was there.
I've been once. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Shit's beautiful.
Very beautiful environment. That kind of sucks. I was about to be like, come over to my parents' house for Thanksgiving.
I would, man. Fucking, we're going to see Cat's family, so I was excited. Did I ever tell you?
Your ass.
There you go. I got a fucking pellet grill smoker, and I was gonna smoke a turkey.
Oh.
I think, oh man, that thing's awesome. It's fucking sweet.
Hell yeah.
I got it for like pretty good deal on Home Depot. It was like right around 500. But then on like Lowe's, that shit was like seven something.
Lowe's overcharges for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like,
Home
hell
Depot
yeah.
Sponsor us.
And then I got a fucking military discount, so pretty much covered the shipping and like I don't know, 10, $20 off of it. So, but yeah, it's fucking sick, man. You can do anything on that motherfucker. You can grill, smoke. It's a beautiful machine.
I'm about to come over there. We can make some shit.
Hell yeah! Actually, fuck, I made pork chops last night and I absolutely fucking ruined them. I did like a absolutely.
I thought you were about to be like, absolutely fucking nailed it. Like that's what I thought you were about to say.
It was my first absolute disaster on the thing. I've made chicken thighs, I've made chicken wings, I've made ribs, I've smoked steak. What the fuck else have we made? I made chimichurri tacos. All fucking delicious. And I've made pork chops before. And this time I bought I didn't buy it. Fucking cat bought this shitty ass raspberry fucking glaze. And I was like, all right, so I got a little gallon bag, tossed it all in there, threw it on the grill for like the same temperature and shit. And I absolutely burnt the fuck out of them. They were like hockey pucks. I still ate them, but they were fucking terrible.
So I ate them though.
Oh, I was so mad.
They filled me up a little bit.
It was like eating fucking cardboard.
Oh
with like a little barbecue taste.
Jesus Christ. All right, I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. I'll be back.
Don't forget to wash your hands.
Oh, I don't give a fuck. No, I'm going to wash my hands. Fight COVID-19. Fight COVID-19.
COVID's over. What a fucking animal. That man is just floored. Oh, man. The Vikings are fucking me. You hate to see it. My kicker needs points. I'm gonna lose in fantasy. It's done deal. Done deal. I'm down by basically 7. Yeah, I don't know. The kicker can start, kicking some big ones. I can come back, but I'm gonna lose next week too. My fucking team's a disaster. And season's a wash. It's week 2. Season's a wash. But I don't know. We got some sneaky waiver pickups. We might be able to pick up. Here's fingers crossed. Your boy scouring the waiver wire. Everybody post in the comment that Nick needs to move his fucking microphone. That is an absolute nuisance in the video. You better tuck that shirt in, son.
Nah, I told you at the beginning. That's all that matters.
I absolutely hate these headphones. They are itchy. It's like they're brand they're brand new, and it's like some weird fucking felt. I don't know. It's like it's just itchy like around my ears.
Are they? Do they fully fit around your ears?
Yeah, they do. It's just they're very annoying. I hate it. I bought this it was like a podcasting pack. So it came with the headphones, the microphone, and then the desk stand. And it was like I think it was like $160, and then I bought the camera separately, which was like another $60. So all in all, I mean, it's not a terrible like price for everything, but the fucking desk stand, oh my god! Before we started, I came down here an hour before we started trying to put this fucking thing up, and so I don't have a flat desk, so there's nowhere to like hook it. It's like flat, and then there's like there's like a barrier, like raised edges on the side, and so like it's supposed to hook onto a flat desk, and then now it's like hooked up like fucking sideways, and it was an absolute disaster trying to hook this fucking thing up, and I was getting so irritated. I was about to put it back in the box and fucking send the whole thing back. I was getting so frustrated.
You got a kit though. In the long run, it'll it'll be worth
Yeah.
it.
The way I gotta set it up now is like it's nice. It's like the camera's down here and it's like coming across this way. Like it's like I hooked it up into the drawer, so I had to pull the drawer out and like I hooked it into the top of the drawer. So fucking it's I can spit on it.
Well, that's what you gotta do. Gotta do what you gotta do.
If it shits, it fit.
And at this point, we're kind of bullshitting, but we both are kind of getting our equipment set up. I think we're getting more prepared for more non-football stuff. You still fuck with Star Wars like that? Like they're about to come out with a new show. I was thinking about maybe touching on some of that shit.
You talking about the Andor show?
Yeah. Have you seen Rogue One? If you haven't seen Rogue One, then you need to watch that before that show. But
Rogue One's the one where they steal the Death Star plans, right?
Yeah.
No, yeah, that one was pretty good. That might be like one of the best new Star Wars
post like Disney ones, pretty much.
Yeah, it was fucking really good. And then, the Mandalorian's absolute top tier.
Great show. I can't wait for that to come back.
You see the trailer for the third season yet?
Yeah.
I didn't watch it. I think I'm just gonna wait and I'm just gonna fucking watch Thursday. I don't want to spoil shit. I'm just gonna go straight in. I want to rewatch the first two seasons because I kind of.
It's been a while because like the Book of Boba Fett was basically Mandalorian season 3.
I didn't watch that one either, man. I've been a little out of touch with Star Wars.
Damn. So like the Mandalorian, like first and second season, pretty much go straight into the Book of Boba Fett. Like it's almost like season 3 of the Mandalorian. Like,
yeah,
like it works itself in. Now I'm like this new fucking season. Like it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, fucking the Mandalorian is just insane. Fucking the director, was it Jon Favreau?
Yes.
Everybody is like calling for like Disney just to let that man direct every Star Wars thing, like because it's him and another dude.
Kevin, maybe not Kevin.
I can't remember his name, but like them two, like they were like, just let these motherfuckers make literally or like
because the other dude made Clone Wars pretty much like the cartoon.
Jon Favreau was on Clone Wars too.
Yeah, and then Jon Favreau is like really like attributed to the fucking Mandalorian. Yeah, when you put those two guys together,
absolute fucking magic is happening.
Like, did you watch the Clone Wars cartoon, like the full thing, or like most?
No, I didn't watch the full thing. I think I'm in like season 3 or 4.
I watched like I kind of skipped the filler. I just found like a list of like essential episodes.
Yeah, I've seen that list.
That shit was fucking nuts. I'm like, that is a fucking amazing show.
Yeah,
and like we're exploring Ahsoka more. She's getting her own show.
That's gonna be a good one too. I was so surprised that they put her in the second season of The Mandalorian. Like, that fucking scene where like I think it was like a fog and like her lightsaber just lights up. If I'm remembering correctly, it was like she had the white lightsaber, wasn't it?
Yeah. She was fighting like one of the. I don't know if it was an Empire person or not, but it was kind of hinted that they were.
Yeah.
When like Mando and Baby Yoda, Grogu were there at the same time.
Yeah, I'm probably just gonna rewatch the first 2 seasons before the third one comes out, just to refresh. That way I don't miss any small shit, because I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of small things from the first 2 seasons that kind of carry over that I would miss if I just picked it up from there.
Oh yeah, should catch Andor. We should cover that. If not, I'll cover that.
You watch the Rings of Power, the Lord of the Rings?
See, I've only seen like the first Lord of the Rings, and I kind of like don't even remember it. So
what are you doing?
People are like, you should watch Rings of Power. Like I've had a few people like, doesn't even really have too much to do with like the Lord of the Rings. You can just kind of go into it.
It's actually it's before.
It's like a prequel, from what I've heard.
Yeah, honestly. So I mean, you'd probably be good. You'd be okay just watching the Rings of Power and then rolling right into fucking like The Hobbit and then the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Like, you think if I watched the first episode of that show, I wouldn't be any confused like a little bit, or like it'd just be like I'm watching a brand new show?
I think you might be a little confused just kind of based on like how everything's set up, because it's a little slow and it's really building everything. So like you'd be like, because a lot of the characters are not a lot, but there's a couple characters in the Rings of Power that are either in the Lord of the Rings trilogy or talked about. So like Elrond, he like I think he ends up becoming like king of the elves. So like in the trilogy, he's like the head elf dude. Um, and then Galadriel, she's like I can't remember her fucking her like what she exactly is, but she's like one of the main characters in the show. And then like Sauron, did it ever you remember him? Like the main fucking bad guy. Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, well yeah, actually yeah, I do.
Yeah, the dude that
he
like,
looks kind of fucking crazy.
Yeah, so like they're talking about him, and like at the beginning of the show, they're like they like beat him or not. Maybe I don't remember. It's been a little bit since I've watched the first episodes. Like I think they beat him or like his army, and then like they're like trying to hunt him down or some shit. It looks really good. I think they spent like a fucking $1 billion on the show or something like that. Like,
I heard the same thing. Like that is competing with the Game of Thrones like prequel,
Yeah.
I guess. They're having like this big showdown right now, but they both spend a shit ton of money.
I think you should
both
watch
those
it.
shows.
It's pretty cool. It looks amazing.
And that's on Hulu, is that correct?
No, it's on Amazon.
Amazon, I have that as well. So I think I'll check it out at some point this week.
Yeah, I need to watch the next because they're on the 4th episode just came out on Friday, so there's 4 episodes out now. I've only watched 2, so I need to catch up. But I guess the 4th episode was pretty slow. It was really they're just building. I think it's gonna get pretty intense. I'm fucking for it.
Which I mean, I love like a world building.
Yeah.
Show. I mean, like Mad Men, one of my favorite shows of all time. That shit is
the Mad Men's fucking amazing.
Great show though. Like great show.
Like yeah, you need to fucking watch the trilogy, man. It's like some of the best 3 movies ever made. Like it's like arguably like one of the best trilogies there is.
Like it's on Star Wars level, like or close to it.
I like the Lord of the Rings better than Star Wars.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. I gotta check this show out.
The Twin Towers is probably one of my favorite movies ever. Like there's like a big fucking battle scene. It's like in Helm's Deep. So like pretty much it's like the humans' last stand against like the orcs and the goblins. And that's like the orcs, I think, at that point. I don't really know if they have any goblins in the army, but like orcs are like the smaller little fuck stains, and then they're called orcai. They're like big fucking. I think they used to be elves, and they're just fucking jacked, and they're just like it's like the special forces force, but there's just like a fucking army of them, and the humans they're like their last stand in this fucking castle, and they're just holding out, and like a fucking elf army marches in like right before they do to like reinforce them, and it's insane, bro. Like the battle scene is just epic, and the Revenge of the King or Return of the King is the 3rd one. It's pretty good too. There's good battle scenes in that one. It's just and then in the fucking the first one, the Fellowship of the Ring, the ending, the battle scene, and that one's fucking top tier as well.
See, I've heard that's a really good movie as well.
I mean,
that's kind of I hear like either that one or the Twin Tower. Like those are the 2 like I hear the most about.
I think the Twin Towers is better. The Fellowship of the Ring is a little slow. It's got a lot of dialogue. It's got a lot of build up. So I wouldn't watch it if you don't have the time to really sit down and kind of pay attention.
Wait, which one's the first one?
The Fellowship of the Ring.
You say skip that one?
No, don't skip it. Like I'm just saying, if you don't got the time to sit down and watch it and actually pay attention, then just don't.
Like wait a while till I have that moment to watch that.
Just don't even start it because you're just doing it an injustice. You're gonna miss a lot of shit. You're not gonna catch a lot.
And I'm sure that movie fully enhances the next movie. Like
yeah, because there's a lot of relationships built between the Fellowship. So it essentially starts the Fellowship. So there's like, I mean, long story short, fucking Frodo, the little Hobbit.
Mm-hmm.
He gets the ring from Bilbo, his I think it's his grandfather. Could be wrong. Maybe I think it's his uncle or some shit. I don't know. It's fucking one of his family, and he's had it because in the Hobbit, that's when he gets it. And then he fucking gives it to Frodo to I don't fucking remember what he tells him, but and then Gandalf the Wizard is like, oh shit. Yeah, fucking, and then they go to the Elf Kingdom, and then they form like basically a fucking coalition of like humans, dwarves, elves, and the hobbits, and then they're gonna take this ring and go fucking destroy it. And it starts it. So there's like Gandalf the Wizard, there's the 4 hobbits, Legolas the elf, Gimli the dwarf, Aragorn, Boromir. So there's 2 humans. I feel like I'm missing somebody. But like that's like the main group, and then like It really is just kind of building the bond between them, and then the Twin Towers, they get kind of separated. So there's like a lot of shit there. I think two of the hobbits get captured by the orcs, so the Orcai. So like they're like fucking tracking them down and shit. It's so good, bro.
It sounds like I need to check that shit out.
If you like that like that type of fantasy like world, like swords and it's not a lot of magic, to be honest. So I don't even say magic, but it's like,
see, to me, I don't even care like what the setting actually is, as long as the storytelling's good. That's just kind of how I've always been. If the storytelling's good, I think it's great. Usually,
the story is just amazing. It's top tier. Like I'm saying, arguably the best trilogy ever made.
So do you want me to, like, because we might discuss this next week, do you want me to go back and watch the Lord of the Rings movies, or should I like, would it be cool if I just started with the series, the new series?
I mean, you can start with the series, but then you're also gonna have to probably watch The Hobbit before then, or after that, because The Hobbit, I think there's a trilogy of Hobbit movies that are before the Fellowship. So like, I mean, you can watch the original trilogy and be fine, and then go back and watch. You know what I'm saying? Like you might fucking pick up more if you watch the original trilogy first, and then go back.
Just kind of like, I'll
understand like, I know who that person is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of just in the order that the shit came out.
I don't know why I never like fully delved into that series, but
yeah, I would check it out. It's
kind of like Harry Potter. Like I've only seen like the 2 Harry Potter movies.
Oh, what are you doing with your life? Harry Potter is good too. I don't. A lot of people don't like Harry Potter.
See, I feel like it's cool, but like I was trying to show my girlfriend like Star Wars, and I was like, honestly though, if you didn't watch Star Wars as a kid, you probably won't like it as an adult. And that's kind of how I feel like about Harry Potter. I was like, maybe I won't like it as much.
Harry Potter, I feel like it's like so the first one, I'd pick it up at like Halloween time. It's got like a Halloween vibe on the first one. It's like pick it up right then, like around Halloween time, watch that first one, and then I would just go from there. The last movie, I think, is like there's like a good battle scene too.
Like I've always been interested in it. Like I read a few of the books, like they weren't bad. So like
I read every one of them.
Good.
I was putting down one of them motherfuckers a week. Like I think I was in like middle school. I was reading a Harry Potter book a week.
Damn, they that good?
They're pretty good.
I read like the Sorcerer's Apprentice and like the one after that.
What did you say?
Is it the Sorcerer's Apprentice? Is that the first one?
It's the Sorcerer's Stone.
Sorcerer's Stone. I don't fucking know, man.
Yeah, that's the pretty sure that's the first one.
Yeah, Sorcerer's Stone, and I can't remember what the second one's called, but I've seen that one too.
What the fuck is the second one called?
Actually, I think I've seen the third one. Like Prisoner of Azkaban, I think it was the third one.
Yeah, a lot of people like that's like their favorite.
I actually enjoyed that one quite a bit. Actually,
it's the Goblet of Fire. The Goblet of Fire is cool. There's like a fucking school competition that they got going on between like their school and like I think 2 or maybe 3 of the other like wizarding schools. I enjoy them. It's been so long since I've seen the Harry Potter movies too. I know last Halloween we started the first one, we watched it, and we was like, all right, we're gonna rewatch all of them, and then we just fucking didn't.
See, I thought you and Kat used to watch like Harry Potter like crazy. Like
we did, like when we was in high school. Like that's kind of like what brought us together.
Damn.
Like we just go home from school and just fucking watch Harry Potter.
Like Harry Potter.
Yeah. It's good times. You drinking Modelo?
Miller High Life.
I don't know why I thought that was Modelo. It's not even the same fucking.
Nah, because Modelo has like more of the, like it has like a
little fucking shiny gold wrapping on the skin.
Yeah, it has more. It has like wrapping around the fucking lid.
I don't know how you drink that shit. Beer is fucking trash.
See, it was more like I didn't want to mix a drink. Like, oh, I gotta fucking get the fucking sugar and fucking get the whiskey and splash a little bit of water. Like, I be making cocktails like when I'm drinking liquor.
Why don't you just drink scotch?
I ain't never tried it. I need to try it. Next episode, I'll probably have some scotch.
It's an acquired taste. You might not like it at first. It took me a while. Like I had a supervisor. I was drinking fucking black spice rum and Coke. And like the shit was like super fucking high, like percentage. It was fucking terrible. It was like super thick, syrupy, black. It's not like the Captain Morgan spice rum. It has like it's not the Kraken. It's like a different one. I think it's like 49% or some shit. And it's like I'd fill the cup up like quarter to halfway, and then it's like a whole can of Coke. It's like I started getting like kind of fat, like drinking this shit, because I was drinking a lot, and shit just get me fucked up. And I started getting chunky, and I was like talking to my boss, and I was like, man, I need to find something to drink. I'm getting chunky. And he's like, oh, just drink scotch. And I was like, all right, well, like what's good? And then he was like, oh, Glenmorangie, or I mean it's like Glenlivet or some shit. So I went to the fucking shop and I picked up a bottle and I tried it and I was like, ugh. It's really fucking strong, but it's got a nice like taste. You're getting a lot of like the barrel, like the oak taste or whatever type of barrel that they're fucking like distilling it in or like keeping it in. I think you're getting a lot of that. I don't know. I enjoy it.
See, I've always been kind of open to like alcohol, like even if it's like kind of tastes like shit at first, I'm like, I'm gonna give it a second shot. Like beer, I thought it tasted like ass the first time. I thought it tasted like ass like the first like 10 times.
It's still ass.
And eventually I was like, I like beer. I don't love it. Like I prefer liquor, definitely. But this is actually the first podcast I've done beer. The first two I was doing fucking my version of old fashions. Like
I did scotch the first two, and now I'm drinking Trulies.
I wanted to be a little bit more casual this time.
Yeah. Well, last one I only had one glass, but
we were sober. We were sober the last time. I feel like
the first one I got kind of fucked up. The
first one, this is probably the most fucked up I've been on one. But also, like I feel like since we've had a couple of weeks to get into this, it's a lot better than the first one.
Just kind of flowing.
Like maybe at the beginning, and like I might have been like a little nervous, but I don't give a fuck. Essentially,
0 fucks given. It is what it is.
Absolutely.
What other topics you got? Any hot takes?
Any hot takes?
What's Nick's hot take on life? Like, what do you got?
Honestly, I don't even know what's going on in the world. Because like I just logged off of social media. Like I have no I was searching because I was like thinking about when we go on our breaks and shit. It's top like world topics. I couldn't even find anything interesting enough to talk about. Like
I forgot you you just kind of removed yourself from social media. How's that been? Like
we talk about that for? It's been good. Where like that's kind of what I was alluding to, like when I was talking about shit we're talking about like after we get done recording. I'm considering getting back on social media.
Yeah.
But just for the purpose of like sharing this and then sharing like my music and different shit I'm working on, not so much for being on it all the time.
Yeah.
But
it's weird, man. Like social media is such like almost an integral part of like modern day life. Like you almost have to be connected to it to kind of like get your news, get your catching up on family, like if you're not living immediately close to your family, like seeing like what the fuck your friends are doing, because like who the fuck just text somebody nowadays? It's nobody fucking. Yeah, you might like your best friend or like if you're really big into texting, but like I feel like the average person just doesn't sit there and text somebody every day like, hey, like what the fuck you got going on in your life? Like they're just like casual shit, and you're just gonna see how their life's going through social media. So it's like it's weird. I couldn't imagine like being disconnected.
See, I almost felt more disconnected while I was on it.
Really?
Because now I'm off social media. So like anybody who really wants to talk to me is gonna have to reach out to me. And anybody who I really want to talk to, I have to reach out to.
I guess at that point you're like really gonna really know who like really fucks with you. At that point.
Then I've learned like I do have people who really give a fuck about me, but it's maybe like 10 to 15 people, like in reality.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you have your friends who are just social media friends. And you know what? I'm just going to get into this. Fuck getting off the recording. Because at this point, we're like probably like fucking 3 hours into this episode. Like, if you are watching this, you're fucking dedicated as hell.
You're deep into the weeds
or we have grown a lot in the future that you came back and watched our old shit. This is kind of how I feel on it. So we're just gonna hop into shit. Me getting off of social media. Like, yes, I wanted to just get off social media because it's a negative ass place. I've been wanting to do that for years. But there was a fucking reason it happened abruptly. So we gonna get into this. I wasn't expecting to get into this. With Jaden here, I was gonna do a solo video.
Speak your piece.
But this is what happened. So I'm not gonna name any of my employers here. They're really not big important pieces to this story, but I'm gonna kind of mention, like, I was working at a place and switched to this place. So I was working at a pharmacy from 2020 to May 2022. I switched jobs. I'll mention this place because I don't think they'll be my sponsor and I don't give a fuck about them. I switched to Enterprise, like the rental car company. That was late May of 2022. They sent me to a training in Oklahoma City. Where they paid me out like for my hotel room and shit. We got to stay there for a week. Well, anyway, I've been in a relationship for the past 2.5 years. If you're watching this, you probably know that because you know me. Well, I don't know. I got fucked up while I was down there. I said I'm gonna log on to Tinder. I'm gonna try to hook up with a bitch on the side. I matched with a bitch, exchanged Snapchats and shit. We talked. She was asking like if I want to hook up with her and shit. I said yeah. She screenshotted that shit and she put me on blast on all of social media. So that's the like original reason why I got off that shit.
She knew you on social media?
No. She looked me up. We were on Tinder, exchanged Snapchats. She looked me up, I guess, on my Facebook because my Snapchat was just my first and my last name, which is like a very unique name.
Yeah.
If you know me. So she found me. She found my girlfriend. She messaged my girlfriend. And then my girlfriend like deleted her, I think. Like I don't know if she even read the message, but she automatically deleted that person. But that person thought I was like logging onto my girlfriend's shit and like deleting her messages. Yeah, so she put me on blast to like my former employer who I didn't work for anymore, the pharmacy place, or like a friend of hers that was also a dude. I probably got catfished during the situation. I was drunk. I don't really care. She put me on blast, like to my old employer. She was messaging like my girlfriend's family and shit, like because they like. So what happened was they screenshotted this, said they're gonna tell my girlfriend. I didn't respond. I was just like, I'm gonna let this go. Yeah. If anything happens in the morning, it happens. They messaged me the next morning from a different account, which was like a dude's account at this point. Cash at me $200. I'm gonna ruin your life. So at that point,
that sounds like a catfish situation.
Yeah. So at that point, I called my girlfriend and I was like, "Look, I got on Tinder last night. Like, you can break up with me if you want, but like, they are not gonna blackmail me for this shit. Like at the end of the day, like I'd rather just like own up to my shit.
Just take the L and just move on.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just gonna take the L, and then like after that, I was like, yeah, I told her like I'm not giving you any money. They're like, oh, you're fucking broke, this and that. And I was like, I didn't even respond to it. And then like next thing I know, my old boss from the pharmacy is fucking sending me a picture of like the screenshots of them posting a review like on their page of like my Tinder account, like the Snapchat messages, like
on the
fucking everything.
Page?
Yes, on my like, and I was like, oh,
what the fuck?
I'm like, oh, they're trying to really like ruin my life. Essentially, I'm like, luckily they don't know I don't fucking work there anymore. But I was like, all right. I went to the cops. Like, I was in Oklahoma City. I was like, I'm just going to the place. They're like, yeah, there ain't shit we could do, pretty much. Is what they told me, which I was like, that's fair. Right. So he was like, probably just log off of social media. And I was like, it's probably for the best. So I log off of social media. The whole thing dies down. Then I start to realize I don't really miss it. Like, it got to a point where I'm like, that person's probably forgot about this.
Yeah.
They're probably gonna quit harassing me because like they've moved on to their next fucking person they're blackmailing at this point.
Jesus Christ.
So I'm like, I just don't miss it though. But now we're trying to build a podcast.
How'd your girlfriend take the whole situation? How'd that go? How'd that shake out?
She obviously wasn't very happy at all.
Yeah, I bet.
It turned into one of those things where like I genuinely did feel bad about what I had done. It wasn't just some bullshit. So I apologized. And then at that point, like by the time we actually like I got home, because like I was like, I pretty much called in. I was like, I gotta go back to my house. Like I have some personal shit going down. So I left the train in Oklahoma City, came back to Ponca. We talked, and at that point, like my life was pretty much ruined. Like at that point, like I had been put on blast so much. Like she was like, yeah, he's gone through it. And then like I apologized. She forgave me, but like it was a little rough for a little while, but
trying to like rebuild the trust and whatnot.
Yeah, I think the trust is rebuilt, and like I obviously learned my lesson.
Right.
I do think I fucked up, but I do think the people that were fucking with me were actually worse than I am, in my opinion.
That's crazy.
But yeah, if you're watching it this long, that's what happened. So
Jesus.
So if they do happen to still follow me when I grab back on, I already admitted to this shit. So what else do you got?
What are the fucking chances that just happens to you?
Like the
honestly, I feel like that's like way common, you know? Like I feel like that just happens to a lot of people and you just don't hear about it because either they're not getting put on blast and you're just not seeing it, or they're paying the money, or I don't know.
They just kind of sweep it under the rug, like what I was trying to do. But I'm like, I don't want to wait till like maybe the podcast gets big or like some other stuff we release on here gets big. Then them try to like blackmail me at that point. Like I've already admitted it. Like, what else do you have on me? You don't know me.
Shit happened.
Yeah, like fuck you.
Pound sand.
Yeah, fuck you. But I addressed it, so I'll be probably back on social media now that I've addressed it. So
hell yeah, now I can tag you in fucking memes all day.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many things I come across. And like I even go to like search your name and like, oh fuck, he doesn't have social media anymore. And then like a lot of the times I'll just like screenshot it, or like I'll save the picture. But yeah, I don't know. I think the majority of the time I just like, fuck, I just keep scrolling. But that's tough, man.
Yeah, I mean, I feel a lot better now that I've like said it to somebody at least. Like,
yeah, at least you're able to like kind of recover from that, because some people that's enough to just kind of absolutely ruin somebody's life, and like that's the shit that drives people to kill themselves. And like,
absolutely.
At that point, they're backed into a corner, and in reality, they don't realize how much of a deal it's like really not. Like it's not the end of the world. Like
that's what actually carried me through the situation, because I was like,
it's
who
actually
gives a fuck? Like most people don't. Like they probably like maybe thought something while they scrolled past it, and then they forgot about it a couple days later.
Even if it was like the most extreme, and like they're seeing like your fucking genitals and shit, like some nudes, like, and they're leaking that shit. Like, yeah, at that point, like it might seem even more extreme, and you're still like you're backed even further in the corner. Like that's like the furthest, and like like, and they're like, oh, I want this money, and you're like, fuck, like, do I pay these people? Like, do I like?
I considered it. I was like, should I? But then I was like, nah.
Like, yeah, and they're probably just gonna leak it anyways.
Well, it's like that's exactly. They're either gonna keep blackmailing me to keep on getting money, or they're just gonna do it anyway. It was gonna be one of those two things.
Yeah, so
it was like you're one of those people. Like if I called you, you tell me like, fuck no, don't give them that money. Like
100%. Fuck, they eat shit. So yeah, like in the grand scheme of things, like that happens probably to a lot of people, and like I don't even want to know how many suicides come from something like that, because I could see it. You feel like you have no option. You don't have the money to pay them. You don't want the psychological damage. You don't want the damage to your image and your reputation, and you feel like you got no way out. So it's a tricky situation, and if you have no out, then like what are you gonna do? You're either gonna put your sack on the table and tell them to fuck off, or you're gonna fold, or you're gonna take the other way out. That's like,
and I did what I had to do. Maybe it fucked up my reputation a little bit. I don't really fucking care.
yeah.
Because how many people really have an opinion on me? Not that many. But I bet you we could grow this shit.
And who gives a fuck about
likes me? Like,
who gives a fuck about a pharmacy that you worked for once? You know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
Like, fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. And I did what I had to do. I feel good about myself at this point, and I've moved on. So
and then the better thing is, you owned up to it. You put your cards on the table. You do what you needed to do. You opened up. You admitted you were wrong. You told your girlfriend like, hey, I fucked up. Like, it was a one-time mistake, and gladly she was able to see that. And like everybody has their mistakes. I'm not saying I've had plenty. I fucked up plenty. And everybody does. So it's good to hear like a decent success story from something like that, because a lot of people probably don't have that if they've went through a situation like that. So,
but I mean, you know me, I ain't gonna let some shit like that get me.
Fuck no.
Like hell no.
$200 shit. Fuck out of here. I'll wipe my ass with $200.
I'll fucking cash up you two fucking $100 now, bitch.
I'll cash up you $210.
Fucking call me broke, bitch. Fuck you.
That's
you the one blackmailing people for $200. Fucking bitch.
That's absolutely wild. Where were you at?
I was in Oklahoma City when that shit happened.
Oklahoma City. I thought you said he was in Kansas City, and I was like, Kansas City is ghetto.
Nah, I was in Oklahoma City, and then like the shit just exploded to the point where I was like, I gotta go back to Ponca. Like,
wild.
I was like, I have to tell somebody about this. So like, I ended up like telling Carlos, and he was like, "You fucked up." He was like, "You fucked up," but he was like, "You're not the right person in this situation." Like, there is like worse people in this situation, and like,
and it could have been a lot worse, and like you could have got fucking Manti-Teo'd.
Yeah, at least I caught on quick.
Yeah, people are fucking
didn't spend any money. So
people are scandalous, bro. Like it's you fucking do anything nowadays to get up in the world. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't fucking scammers. That shit drives me nuts. Have you seen those videos like people like tourists and like I don't know fucking some tourist attraction, and there's all those fucking people like they like come up to you and then they just fucking heckle the shit out of you, and then like you like respond once and then like, oh, you owe me this money for like helping you, and then like
stupid shit like
and then like
that.
threaten to like beat the fuck out of you if you don't pay them. Man, fucking speaking of like scammers, in Japan, like nothing against Nigerian people as a whole. Like I don't give a fuck, but like the Nigerians like really bad out there. Like they'd have like bars and like you'd go into them. I never went into any, but fucking word around around the fucking people, and like we'd get briefs from OSI and shit, which is like kind of like the Air Force's like FBI. Like they'd brief you like don't go to the fucking Nigerian bars, like bad shit will happen to you. So like you'd go in there and like they'd be like, oh yeah, like super welcome, and then like they like offer you maybe like a free drink or like you buy one, and then they would like charge you, like try to charge you like an absolute fuck ton. Like they'd be like, oh, you owe us like $500, and like if you don't pay it, like we're gonna beat the fuck out of you. Like shit like that, like craziness. And we're just like, what the fuck, bro? Like, where are we? Like, yeah, man. It's like, and they'd be like staying outside the bar, like trying to get you to come in, and like they was just like just fucking ignore them, just keep walking. And that's what we all did. I never went in one of those motherfuckers. I ain't trying to get extorted for, because they would want you to take them to an ATM and just give them money. And like, who's to say they don't just fucking take your wallet and all your cards and shit, or like, I don't know, beat the fuck out of you and you're not the same person anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, or maybe they kill you. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like, craziness. I remember this one time we was in Japan, and we went to no, it wasn't Shibuya. It was Yokosuka. It was like down by like one of the naval bases. And me and a couple of buddies, we was like just checking out some of the bars down there. And I think we got lost. Or we was like trying to find out, like we was trying to find like a good bar, and like we was like Googling like good bars because like we weren't from there, or we'd never been down there. And like, so we found one and it was okay. And then like, we found another one, and like this dude's like wallet was on the ground. So like my buddy found the wallet. This shit was like absolutely fucking fat with cash. And we went and dropped it off at like the police station. Like it had all his fucking ID and shit in it. We dropped it off. And then like we found, like we was trying to find another place. It was like right after that. There was like all these fucking like Japanese dudes in suits, like standing outside this like one spot. Like we could have swore they were Yakuza. Like it was weird. They was looking at us real funky. It was a little sketch. I had a super bad feeling. Like we was just like, keep the head down. We just keep it fucking moving. And
yeah, hell no. I would have got the fuck out of there real quick.
Yeah, we was just like, we just went back to the hotel at that point. Well, I mean, I don't know if there's like fucking Yakuza down there or not, but it
could have been just a random coincidence.
It could have been fucking.
It sounds scary. Like,
it was a good group of them. I don't know many fucking random. I mean, to be fair, a lot of Japanese people be going out after work because they get off at like fucking 7 at night, still in their suits, but usually they're in the bars all fucked up, passed out. So like, or just be in there going nuts. So I don't know. They didn't seem drunk at all.
No.
A little sketchy.
For sure. So I'm thinking we end the podcast. We talk about our plans for next week, and
yeah, for sure.
We catch everybody. If you joined us this far, which you might have, who knows? Thank you, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.